Welcome to the Horror Hangout, a podcast where film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time and talk about them. My name is Ben Errington, and today I'm joined by regular co-host Mr.
Andy Conduit Turner. Hello, Ben, or as they say in the mummy,
Oh no, I didn't hear it. It's been cut out by. It's been Zoom has cut out your little
Zoom has
chomping
cut out
noise.
my excellent clicking sounds, everybody. Tell them I want pepperoni pizza in Morse code.
I'll drop them in afterwards,
Please
Andy.
do, yeah.
Plus, a very special returning guest, Terrelle Graham, is a lifelong horror fan and host of the Horrormania podcast. Welcome back to the show, Terrelle. Hello.
Hi guys, thanks for having me on. Appreciate being here.
You're welcome, man. You're very, very welcome. When we were just before recording, we noticed one of the times you're on recently was for Lee Cronin's last film.
Yep, and I think that was a really long discussion we had that time as well. I think we went on for about 3 hours having a
Oh
real
my,
in-depth conversation about Evil Dead.
I think we did. Yeah,
When you
I
got
think
the
you're right.
hottest takes, you got to bring them along.
When the podcast episode is twice the length of the film, that's when, that's when you know it's hit home. Well, his name wasn't on that film though. His name is very much on this film. Um, why do we think that is? Do we know why this has happened?
So
I
my
suspect
guess
it's
was
because.
that
Sorry, you go.
like they were I did hear an answer from Lee Cronin, but before then my guess was that it was because they wanted to make people aware beforehand this isn't Brendan Fraser's
Yeah,
mummy
that's what
film.
I thought. Yeah,
Yeah. I think
because
exactly the same. I think
I've,
because there's about, especially now that is happening.
Yeah.
yeah. I suppose just the fact that that exists and the Tom Cruise is a similar situation, and we've discussed this before on the podcast, Andy, when they changed Avengers to Avengers Assemble to not confuse people who might be fans of a 1960s British TV show. Hang on a minute. Who's this? Iron Man. It's not bloody.
Where's John Steed?
Where's John Steed? It feels like that, doesn't it? Like there's a small sliver of people like marketing. I feel like they've overthought it and gone. There's a small sliver of this audience who are going to go into it and go, "Where's bloody Brendan Fraser?"
Yeah, yeah. As if
I
the
think
trailers were selling that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think even with that step though, there are going to be because now there's been enough news about there being a new Brendan Fraser's mummy. There's going to be some people that at least get to the foyer or watch
yeah.
the trailers.
I don't know how you could do that though. I can't live. I can't live my life on a knife edge like that. Just going, let's go see what this is. The Mummy.
I don't
Yeah,
know, Bennett. I like you. I couldn't live it myself, but it must be a blessed life to be able to
yeah,
just
yeah. That's
go
true.
around without stressed about anything.
I've discussed this film. Maybe I've mentioned it maybe 3 times to my mum. Every time she thinks it's a Brendan Fraser one. So I said, "There's a new Mummy coming out. It's not the Brendan Fraser one. It's a horror one. This one. It looks kind of all right. It looks a bit like an exorcism type film." I told her about it. Then the next day, I'm going to see Lee Cronin's The Mummy next week. Brendan Fraser one's out already. No, no.
No,
It's interesting
mom.
because I feel like like in the consciousness of like I don't know like just the public. I feel like that is the mummy to them,
Mhm.
whereas they don't even think of like the classic Universal monster mummy. That
Yeah,
doesn't even come into their mind. It's just Brendan. Because I see a lot of people talking before this one came out, criticizing how this one looked because it wasn't like the Brendan Fraser one. But they're talking as if that was the original when that wasn't an original film either.
yeah,
Like that was a kind of
yeah, yeah. You're
in
right.
its own. Like so, it's interesting.
It's just like it's just like an adventure film as well. And you know what? The Mummy films are good, and but this is yeah, you're in for a complete different ride. In fact, there were free walkouts from my screening.
Oh.
Free walkouts, people like, and quite a way in as well. I reckon like at a good hour, maybe approaching an hour and a
I'll
half.
give it 1 hour for Brendan Fraser to turn up.
And I did say that. I said, "Do you think they're waiting for old Brendan
Rick
Fraser or
O'Connell.
Imhotep to
There we
turn up?"
go.
Imhotep to turn up with a big old mouth sand cloud. A sand cloud turned up and it didn't turn into his mouth, that fella. Yeah, that was a shame. But yeah, Evil Dead Rise the last time, obviously, yeah, because having his name on this film, it always made me think, well, he's only really directed that in the horror sphere, hasn't he? So for his name to be attached to it, it's almost like they're sort of establishing him as a filmmaker. But then I don't know. I don't know whether I felt like it was earned in
I
a
did,
sense.
yeah, I did see an interview with him yesterday, and he did say that it was Jason Blum's idea. And I
Hmm.
think it was all about separation because they said once his
Okay.
script was coming together, they were like thinking I think they were just trying to get ahead of things and thinking this is so different to what some might expect with the title
Yeah.
And he said himself, like he asked for a weekend to think about it because he wasn't too sure,
Okay.
because he didn't, what he says is like, I'm a humble guy and I didn't want to come across like as if I'm some sort of, I deserve to have my name attached to the title because I'm that great or something like that,
Because you don't
which
get it
is,
you don't really get it very often, do you?
yeah,
At
even
all.
from the directors that would warrant it. Like you never get a Christopher Nolan's such and
Yeah.
such
Yeah,
or
it's
anything like
Yeah,
that. It
weird.
never
you're like a
happens.
Peter Jackson's King Kong, and that's
Yeah.
probably the one that springs to mind. I wonder though if there isn't some little bit of legal finagling going on there as well. The Mummy is, of course, a public domain character because Egypt was ages ago. Still a thing, but ancient Egypt was ages ago. So in the Universal Monsters version, anyone could write a film about a mummy. I wonder by calling it Lee Cronin's The Mummy, does that give them and their legal teams some kind of, well, this bit is ours. Like if you have a mummy, which is the imprisonment of this particular spirit in this particular way, and they include Albuquerque, the Egypt of America, for us all to go and enjoy. Like, is that something that they can then
Well,
defend
but
as their own IP?
Yeah, it sounds like that could be a potential thing. Actually, that's a good angle to think about.
The
hmm.
true horrors of the world, IP protection.
Yeah.
I would be interested to know what like the production meetings were like because obviously it feels like they have literally gone. And again, I'm not going to spoil too much yet, but it genuinely feels like they have literally gone. Evil Dead Rise was good. Can you do that with a mummy? And they've gone, that split diopter shot. Oh, we love that. Why not do it times 100? It was crazy. I was like, I can't believe this.
How much of your house can be crawl space? Could an adult stand up here and swing their arms around like we're in a fucking PE lesson and have plenty of space?
Oh man. I don't know. We'll get into it, obviously. I think it's got some interesting ideas, but yeah. But yeah, Terrelle, Horrormania podcast. You've obviously already put out a podcast about Lee Cronin's The Mummy,
Yeah.
and Undertone, but you've been covering some new releases and well, not necessarily old ones, but like you've delved back in time a little bit.
Yeah.
I saw you did a Dead Space episode as well.
Yeah, I dropped a Dead Space episode, and I want to like occasionally drop a video game episode every now and then I want to pick back up with reviewing like remakes versus original films as well,
Oh yeah,
and
that's
going
always good,
back
isn't it?
and I kind of go on the basis of I try and watch a few horror films a week in general anyway, so then I try and watch ones that I know I have a lot to talk about, so I can try and drop an episode every week about talking about
Mm.
certain thing. I did a Sinners episode recently as well because I never actually went like on record on any platform aside from a few tweets. I didn't actually review it, and I did a written review for it actually, but I didn't like do a video review of any kind for Sinners when it came out. So when I rewatched that in IMAX about a month ago, I then did a review for that
Oh,
afterwards.
nice. Did you
I really
rewatch that?
enjoyed your Sinners episode, and I really liked your They Will Kill You episode as well. I particularly enjoyed your like exploration of, They Will Kill You and the very quick direction where you can say, well, this is very derivative of a Tarantino film. Like I loved the explanation of obviously Tarantino is a big reference taker and all these films that he was referencing. So maybe look into your history a little bit if you
Yeah,
think it's that
yeah.
simple. Really, really great episode to make. I literally just have your new one to catch up on.
No, thank you, I appreciate it.
I'm assuming did you do a Sinners one post Oscars, or was it
I
pre?
think it was right before. There was that
Right
week, like the
before, yeah.
weekend before, I think, and I was basically kind of predicting, saying why I think Michael B should win it, and he ended
Yeah.
up doing it. And then how many did they win on the night? I think it was four. It was a really weird night, really, because
Yeah.
it was quite a even spread. Because I think Frankenstein got a few as well.
I feel like they
Uh,
always try and do that, don't they? Like
yeah,
spread out. Because really, I always say this. I don't know if you guys agree, but I always feel like if the film that wins Best Picture like should win like Best Director as well, like shouldn't it?
yeah. It's
I always kind of
like
think that.
I saw people make the case for Ryan Coogler because they were saying because Sinners has the most nominations across all the departments. Surely that means he was the best director because he's helped bring all those departments and collaborate to make all of
Yeah.
them are being recognized for Oscars. So surely he was the best director, but which is an interesting way to look at it. But
Yeah.
I think between One Battle and Sinners, overall, even if you have your favorites, I think you can acknowledge that both of those films are worthy, and like either way, it's like a
Hmm.
win for cinema for both of those films to be recognized.
I
Yeah.
loved his speech for the screenplay. It was really good.
Yeah.
Like incredible speech. And I guess that's how things like that happen, though, because they're voted, right? So it just depends
No,
who you've
right, okay.
convinced to vote for you in which one. I guess they're not looking at it mathematically.
Yeah.
Just a good year for horror overall, wasn't it? Like, it's been so often overlooked. I've kind of enjoyed mainstream. Like, obviously, Sinners was a huge mainstream film, but I think it skipped some audiences, mainstream audiences skipped it because it was a horror. And what I've enjoyed is like people now watching it after the Oscars. They've gone, "What's that? Best Picture, Sinners? Oh, I better check it out then." And just the reactions have been pretty funny. I think just for people
Yeah.
maybe who just weren't necessarily knowing what to expect, or maybe didn't read too much about it beforehand. So yeah, that's pretty funny. I do enjoy that when that happens, when a sort of horror film becomes super super popular and you just see everybody watching it and you're just like, yeah,
Similar to when
that's
The
right.
Substance all of a sudden picked up all those nominations. People are like, I don't know if you've heard about this little film. You're like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Have you heard about this? Was it 18 nominations in the end? Was it 18?
Oh, 16, I think.
16, okay. But that's
But
still
that's
the
the
most
most.
ever,
Yeah,
right?
most ever. Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so obviously Horrormania podcast going well, but also you've been doing out of theater reviews on Instagram, which I've been enjoying as often as I can. Sometimes you get to it before I've seen the film, so I have to like I know you don't really do spoilers, but I do have to
Yeah.
go.
I'm the same. I don't like to look at reactions before I've seen
Yeah.
something. I like to see it after because I just don't want it in my subconscious because I feel like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I'll think something before I'm watching it and it inform my opinion.
Exactly. And you say that, Andy, you gave me a very, very brief review of Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
I thought you'd beaten me to it, Ben.
2 words before I went in, and it didn't shape my idea of it. I was just kind of, yeah. But yeah, the out of theater reactions. What you do? Are you literally just like walking home and then you just think,
Yeah, trying to
it's
catch myself
fresh?
like in the. I think it's quite interesting because like weighing it up. Because usually what I'm usually like, as soon as I finish a film, I'm usually stripped to the notes on my phone, just typing up thoughts. It's like my whole brain is just leaking information onto a notepad. So now I'm like, before I get to that point, doing it on a video, and I find it really interesting because there's things that come out at like the immediate moment that
Mm.
like there's obviously your thoughts over time will kind of become more concrete when you sit down to do the review because you've had more time to think about it. But it's interesting seeing the contrast between like that precise moment you've come out
Mm.
and then maybe the next day when I record an episode or something like that. But it's usually quite similar, to be fair. Like my opinion doesn't really shift. Like when it
Mm.
comes to The Mummy, I felt how I felt with my reaction, and then like when I recorded the episode the next day, it seemed like like those same feelings had like sat with me and become worse. Like those thoughts,
Oh yeah,
those
yeah.
thoughts are like my opinion on it. And like, yeah, I mean, we'll get into it, but I feel like in my episode, I kind of said it in the episode, it feels like I was bashing on the film, and I didn't even really intend to, but I just think I had so many things about that film I had to dissect and strong opinions on it. It felt like I was really ripping into it when I wasn't
Mm.
really intending to. But
Yeah,
it's
I know what you mean.
interesting.
It does kind of snowball the film, because at a point I was thinking, is it all right? I'm kind of, and I don't know, it quite very quickly kind of just seemed to evolve into something completely different. That I was a bit like, oh no, I don't know if I am if I am enjoying
Yeah,
this now, because I don't know if you guys remember before like when this film was announced, I think didn't Lee Cronin say something about it being a bit like Seven as well, like a police
yeah.
procedural thing. I can kind of see possibly where that was going with that, but I feel like it should have just lent into that much, much more.
It's got a bit of the long legs about it on occasion,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
But that's the same that I guess like comparatives are so easy to make. You can say it's a bit like Seven because there's the police in it, right? In the same way in
Yeah.
that I am a lot like famous actor Samuel L. Jackson. Genetically, we're almost identical, but we have the same number of eyes. We both breathe oxygen, convert food into energy. But there are lots of things that are quite different about us. But you can still make that comparison, if you will.
I want to see you in a backwards Kangol hat. Please. ASAP. Please.
Just wait till the Snakes on a Plane episode, Ben.
Oh
That's
yeah.
when.
We've been hyping it up for long enough, haven't we? But we'll get round to it. Summer, right? That's what we're saying.
It's a summer special, surely.
Summer special, Snakes on a Plane, yeah. a little bit of horror news. I thought it'd be best for us all to talk about the Evil Dead Burn teaser because it's not actually online, but I'm assuming everyone saw it before The Mummy.
Yep.
I always arrive to cinema just in time, Ben. So no, I will
Oh, you
live
didn't see
through
it?
both of you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a teaser, isn't it? It's not like
Yeah, it's about 30 seconds. It
yeah.
felt like it wasn't that long.
Yeah, about 30 seconds. It kind of just feels like a set piece, like a tracking shot where somebody, and I think that there some rumors have already kind of surfaced online about where this film could potentially be taking place. But a main character is crawling through a room while various people get slurped off by deadites. And do some
Okay.
deadites come into frame as well? I couldn't tell. I was a bit like, are these?
I can't remember. I feel like I can't remember if something jumps into frame briefly and jumps out of frame, or I don't know if
Yeah,
I'm imagining that.
that
But
happened, but I thought that was someone getting pulled away. But then a couple of people like walk into frame. It was a bit of
hmm.
a it was annoying because that was the only that was the only moment I was waiting for before the film, and about 20 people all came in at the same time and were like standing in front of
Always the
me,
way.
like looking for their seats, and I was like, "Fuck's sake, I want to see Evil Dead Burn for God's
You
sake!
can't be the guy that tells them off. The trailers are on, mate. That'd be you.
Turn the sit down. I want to watch this bloody Hyundai advert." Uh, so obviously it's
I
the
need to see
French.
if Kia sponsor independent cinema or not. Please. Depends on
Uh,
your brand. You might be being recruited into the army. Who
oh
knows?
yeah, oh they love that before the cinema, don't
Get
they?
in the bloody army. Why don't you? Or the navy.
So it's directed by obviously Sebastian Vanasek, isn't it? Who made Infested back in
I
2024.
really like that film actually.
Yeah, I loved it.
That pops into my mind every now and again. Like anytime I see a spider in the house, I think of that film. Like I really do. I did really enjoy it. I
Oh
think
God.
it's like one of
Oh,
those
Infested's happening.
because it's like one of those. I think until I saw that film, I was like, I've always wanted like a really good horror spider film, and I'm surprised there isn't as many
Yeah.
like being made. And I think that came out the same year that Sting came out, and I enjoyed both of those
Yeah.
films.
Yeah, it did.
Um,
Um,
and this trailer, I thought was I forgot he was the one that was directing actually, but I think because I love Evil Dead so much, I think I just felt the excitement with this scene. Although it wasn't what I didn't really know what I was going to expect from this trailer, but I thought it was quite interesting that it was like a 30-second scene, like just a scene from pulled from the movie, just played out.
yeah.
But I enjoyed the
I'm
little tease.
surprised we got to see it so quickly because wasn't there some stuff at CinemaCon about Evil Dead
Ye-
Burn
I
and
think
then
it's a different trailer they
it's
saw though, because I
different. Okay.
saw reactions where they were describing certain, like they
Yeah.
said, I think one Deadite drinks like the wax from a candle or
Yeah,
something
no, I
like
didn't.
that, and
Yeah, I think I did see that. Yeah. I mean, that's disgusting and a bit hardcore, but it's not as hardcore as Deadites like to get, is it?
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
bit
exactly,
like
yeah.
it's like, oh, drinks from a candle. I mean, come on,
Drinking the
Deadites.
wax from a candle, I feel you could, that everyone's got a mate that's done on accident.
Yeah. Like those candles that look like a glass and you just
Yeah.
nudge it towards the yeah, because obviously there was an Evil Dead Burn trailer and then at CinemaCon there was a Resident Evil trailer as well, wasn't there, that everyone's kind of describing.
I'm
Big
desperate to see
reactions.
that trailer. I really want to see that Resident Evil one. Because
Yeah, me
like my
too.
opinion on it, I think is flipped. Because when I first heard, oh, it's not going to be like the games, I was like, oh, why not? Like I just want to see
Mm,
like a good representation of the game. And then now I'm thinking, actually, I think it's a good idea not to do the game. But
yeah.
like from what I've heard based on those reactions, it is like the spirit of the game. And
Yeah.
Zach Cregger said it's all about getting from point A to point B, like a really fast paced, kind of all locked into the one moment type of film.
Yeah. Yeah, and the trailer sounds good. And again, like I guess not having legacy characters is probably a good
Yeah, I
idea.
think
Like we can say, oh, but we've had so much Resident Evil content that now I'm at a point where I'm like, just something good, please. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
And like I'm past the point of going, I want A, B, and C in it. I'm just like, just something good. And like
good.
a genre filmmaker like Zach Cregger, hopefully he's going to do real
Having
well.
that freedom, I think, to give you some surprises with the character, for you not to go in knowing how you expect them to react, what would have to happen for it to fit into a wider narrative. Yeah, I think it should give him some freedom. Yet you can still have the spirit of what people enjoy
Mm.
about the games, much like you'd enjoy, Ben, if you'd given that series a bloody chance.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's very rare that I will duck out of something very quickly, but 3 episodes into the Resident Evil Netflix series, I was not having a good time. So
I think that's a similar place where I dropped out. But I'm curious
yeah,
to go back and see. 'Cause I was listening to a podcast.
yeah.
I can't remember what podcast it was. It was these American guys talking about the episode, about the show, and it was tempting me to go back in just to watch the rest of it, just to see where it went.
There's some fun stuff in a prison. There is a great bit of your man Wesker. Like it's quite funny
Oh
in
yeah, there's a few like
Lance
Lance Reddick
Reddick doing some
clone.
great like I choose breadsticks is fun. It's like a
Yeah.
fun like a goofy dad Wesker. Like I'll stick up for it. It's all right, you know.
I think I was so annoyed because I was really, really hyped for it. I loved all the marketing. It
Yeah, the
wasn't.
posters were amazing because that's what I thought of first, and that's when I started searching for reviews because I remember
Mm.
like the yellow background with the liquor on it, and it was just a
Yellow
really
background
like
was great. Yeah,
striking poster, and it just didn't live up
I
to
think
it.
they had like one of those billboards in the billboards on the corner, the video billboards with a liquor in it, like in Japan, where it was like trying to
Yeah.
get out, and that looked pretty cool as well. But yeah, I don't know what it was. I just wasn't. It wasn't even I was just a bit bored, and then I saw clips afterwards with like musical numbers and stuff, and I was a bit like, sorry.
Whereas you stuck by that CGI film that came out at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I like the CGI ones. Death Island was absolutely ridiculous. But again, Death Island animated, great. If that was live action, it would probably be pretty naff. But yeah, the cast for the new one's great. Austin Abrams is the lead, of course. Um, Callie Reese, is that how you say her name? She was in True Detective Night Country. I thought she was great in that. Um, yeah, it just looks like it's going to be like a nice, just a something happening in Raccoon City. It isn't necessarily about the events and Umbrella and Raccoon City and the RPD and Leon and Claire. It's just this thing was also happening, which gives you like unlimited potential, really, doesn't it, for anything to happen on that night?
I
Yeah.
saw someone describe it from CinemaCon as Fury Road, basically like a
Yeah, I
Fury
heard
Road
that.
style like horror film. Be
Yeah,
interesting.
just like constantly moving from A to B. Yeah, I like the idea of that. And I think they mentioned practical effects, didn't they? Quite a bit. I just
Yeah,
really want to see another big CGI liquor.
and
I
different
don't.
zombie types, I think, as well. I think they said there's like new
Oh,
types of
okay.
zombies that aren't in the game, just like different designs and different,
Oh,
which should be interesting.
good. Well, I guess they kind of did that with Requiem, where each zombie had a personality, and yeah, maybe they'll do that. Maybe they'll do just like different body types, like the Left 4 Dead ones, maybe like a big screechy one, big bloated one. Uh, Other news. Let's have a look. What else have we got? Oh yeah, new Chucky movie. So it's been announced that the next, because obviously the Chucky TV series got cancelled, didn't it? Um,
I know. I haven't watched the last few episodes. Maybe it's my fault, Ben.
it's definitely your fault. So Don Mancini is hard at work scripting a brand new Chucky movie, and there's an exclusive update. He's not only he's writing it and directing the big screen return. It'll be released in theaters because I think the last few like actual movies, I guess there was a
Straight to
remake, wasn't
DVD.
there? Straight to DVD. There was the Child's Play remake. But yeah, so we're getting a new Chucky movie. How'd you feel about this?
Strong positive, Ben.
Strong positive.
Love a Chucky movie. I have said time and again, I think it's one of the consistently best horror franchises because the same person has kept their hands on it the whole time. So you can
Mm.
continue to, and what the series I think did so successfully was all of the, with the exception of the unrelated, he's an AI now and voiced by Mark Hamill version, which still I quite enjoyed.
Mm.
Like all of them can be linked into. You haven't got to have a Halloween situation where we have to go. Only the first one and the first 8 minutes of number two counts. Like it's it's all you're all in with it. So I really enjoyed it for that reason. And Fiona Dourif does a great time as like playing Chucky in some occasions,
Yeah,
and her dad, Charles Lee Ray when he was younger as well. She's incredible. She's really
yeah,
good.
I've seen that. You a fan, Terrell?
It's
Chucky?
weird. Chucky's. I love Child's Play, like the original film, but I've not actually seen a lot of the sequels. The only one I think I've seen is the remake, the recent like reboot one. I don't even think
Yeah.
I've seen number two, or I may
Oh.
have seen Child's Play two. But yeah, I remember when I was young. I remember when they all started coming out because I remember seeing all like the DVD and VHS box sets for all of them, and like Bride of Chucky. And I think
Yeah,
like
that's
one of
like
my
for your
Empire
vintage
mags
still.
had that.
I'm surprised that like that Bride of Chucky isn't one of those ones that you and your mates like watched on like
Yeah.
video or whatever one of your
Yeah,
nights.
it's interesting. Like, yeah, that somehow that didn't come into our. I don't know why really, because I was aware of it. I remember seeing the pictures in the magazines and thinking this looks weird. And I don't think I fully, or actually no, I think I did know what Chucky was, but yeah, I didn't really know what was going on with like the plot of all these sequels. But it's something for me to. I kind of like leaving gaps in horror to some degree because it's fun. Like, say now, if I go into the Chucky series, it's like all fresh to me. If I was to watch all the sequels, it's kind of
Yeah.
exciting.
The rate you consume films, I feel like I'll pick up my phone next week and be like,
Yeah.
Child's Play series ranking. He's
Yeah.
ready.
There's that Living with Chucky documentary, and then there was another Chucky documentary, which is I think is a really good just good cross section of the franchise. So yeah, if you did catch up with it eventually, that's a good worth checking out as well. But yeah, I was kind of the same as you, Terrell. Like it was always one of those franchises that I think I'd seen the first one, and then maybe like Bride of Chucky, but I was never a completionist with it. And there's still a few I haven't seen, but yeah, it's definitely. I'll definitely check it out. And I did watch the remake as well, but I don't really remember much about it. Is that what you said about AI and
That's the
Mark
one where
Hamill?
it's like yeah, that's the Mark Hamill voiced one rather than a Brad Dourif voiced one. Still good.
Mm,
Still enjoyed it. It's not the
yeah.
same, but it is fun. It's a good movie, and Aubrey Plaza is incredible in everything. So, and she's the mum in that.
Oh yeah, she is. Oh my God, you're right. Um, and then there's another remake of Night of the Living Dead, and there's a trailer. Vivica A. Fox is starring in this Romero classic. This kind of came out of nowhere. Is this like a bit of a low
It's the
budget, straight
Yeah,
to?
I think it's one of those things again where I think it's public domain, so anyone could just make one.
Ah, okay, I see.
So it's just, and I think it was random time like at night where I just opened Twitter and saw this trailer pop up and watched it. And
Yeah,
I did think, I don't know if it's because I was probably half tired. I did think like if this wasn't Night of the Living Dead, this might look like just a piece of crap fun that I could
yeah,
just
yeah,
watch
yeah.
and enjoy. But then thinking about it as Night of the Living Dead, which that's probably my favorite zombie film. I was like, oh
Yeah.
no, this doesn't look look good at all.
I mean, just looking at the cast, I mean, I love Vivica A. Fox, Robert Carradine. The reason I'm laughing is because it's got Rob Van Dam in it from WWE and ECW, obviously, who is just like a massive stoner. So I can't imagine him being like just
We
in
do a
this
big
film.
gamble and a big kick on the
He's
zombies.
gonna do one of those 5-star frog splash. I think when I saw the cast, I was a bit like, oh, okay, I kind of understand what this potentially could be. But yeah, I'll check it out. Absolutely. Obviously, I quite like the 1991 as well.
I never seen
Tom
that one.
Tom
Less
Savini one.
familiar with the 1991, but
That was the first one
tragedy,
I
isn't it?
saw.
Night of the Living Dead became public domain the day it came out because of a paperwork error.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah,
why whenever
that
you
is true.
watch a horror film and the kids on TV are watching
And
something,
yeah,
it can be Night of the Living Dead
The
because they
Dead.
haven't got to pay for it.
it's always that graveyard scene, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
from
We're
early
coming
on
to
in the
get you,
film.
Barbara.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fuck off, mate.
So I mean, it is kind of embarrassing, but I always thought the 1991 was Night of the Living Dead because I think I'd seen it, and then when I found out it was a remake and I went back to it, I was like, oh God, okay, I get it now. But I like the Tom Savini one. I think it's pretty good. It's like pretty loyal to the original. Um, I recommend it. I recommend checking it out. So I mean that's pretty much all I got for news.
Got a cheeky couple of bits of extra news for you if you don't mind, Ben. I'm gonna
Very
chuck a
nice.
few bits your way.
Of course, I don't mind.
Co-anchors here on this news. Just
What do you call me?
in about an hour or so before we recorded, we got the first trailer of Hungry. That's right, the Hungry
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 Hippo.
Hippos
Oh my
movie.
God, yeah,
It's out June 23rd. Actually, looks pretty fun.
yeah. I haven't
Yeah,
watched the trailer yet. Is it
yeah,
just
it
is it just a
is.
hippo movie and they've just added?
Well, there's actually a bit where a man goes. He's like a nice version of Horrible Bloke from Anaconda, where he goes, hippos are vegetarian, so they're not eating you. They're not killing you to eat you. They just fucking hate you. So they're just trying
Company.
to kill you for fun. Big, like as far as a big CGI hippo goes, looks pretty great. Looks like fun. It's got looks like it's gonna have big sort of Lake Placid energy about it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to Hungry. Um,
Is this
if
gonna open like a new universe of like board game movies? Is that what we're gonna get?
I don't think it's related to the board game at all. I think they've just taken the fact that you can do a hippo movie, and it's not called Hungry Hungry for
No,
legal
no, it's not.
reasons. It's just called Hungry.
Yeah, I like it when a lesser scene like animal attack movie happens, like when because hippos kill a lot of people, don't they?
More than sorry, it's that famous thing. It's like, do you know that cows kill more sharks than people? Like,
More sharks than people. How are they getting in the
don't
sea?
cows kill any sharks? Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, hippos kill more people than lots
Yeah.
of other animals, more than lots you'd expect because they're massive and they got big old
Mm.
teeth. But yeah, Hungry looks really fun, and that is going to be out June 23rd. I also saw a trailer. I'm not sure either of you have seen this. Came out, I think it was last night I saw it. A film called Colony, Yong Sang-ho's new movie, the director of Train to Busan.
Oh, there's a trailer.
Yeah, there's a
I heard.
trailer out. It looks pretty sick. It looks great.
Is it zombies again?
Zombies again.
Oh, right, okay.
It's
Um,
about the new evolution. It's very umbrella coded, Ben. You'll enjoy it. Very Resident Evil. It's someone's done an experiment to get the new society, and it's about people going into like an area that's been lost to zombies and seeing how the zombies have formed like their
oh,
own kind of society, I guess. The colony
civilization.
of zombies. Yeah. At some point, I imagine they'll see humans and they'll make a big fist of zombies, like at the end of that, and they'll try
A
and get
big
them.
fist of zombies or a big pyramid of zombies like
Exclamation
in World
mark.
War Z.
Yeah.
Did anyone watch the sequel to Train to Busan?
Peninsula I've not seen.
No,
No, I didn't see
no.
that. I was just about to say, because you mentioned World War Z, I did see something about a sequel to that as well. There's a sequel that's
Yeah,
just been announced.
I think I may have seen that as well. What was the news? It just
I didn't really
coming
see
soon.
the details. I was just kind of like, oh, the long-awaited sequel. There's finally. I know they like straight after the first film came out. I know they wanted to make a sequel and have been trying for so
Yeah.
long, but apparently now there's some sort of breakthrough in development and it's going to be happening.
Mm. Interesting, because they kind of solved it at the end of World War Z, didn't they? So
Yeah.
I guess in a similar way to like 28 years later, like it's going to evolve in some way. I just loved it when Brad Pitt had magazines wrapped around his forearms.
Until he got like all the different versions of Paulie in him so he could escape when he
Yeah,
got
he
that
did.
Mr. Burns disease, when he got everything crammed in the doorway so
Oh
the
yeah.
zombies don't get you. Colony is out. I didn't see a UK release date listed. It is due in August in the US. It's due in Australia in June, though, with sometimes in the
Hmm.
same region as them for film releases. So we'll see.
Yeah. Interesting that it's another zombie film, but yeah, I'll hunt down the trailer, have a little look at this.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be like really sort of high octane stuff again.
Mm.
Yeah, looked a lot of fun. Another couple of bits for you. A big bit of news for us, Ben, especially. Today is the day. Razorblade Smile, the remastering that Jake West and the team have been working on for a little while now, is now available in the UK via Nucleus Films. My copy of it arrived today. Very beautiful it is too. The film that walked so Underworld could run for several sequels about a vampire assassin that came out several years earlier, um, is now available for you to enjoy at home, and you can enjoy it in super HD. But if you go onto one of those bonus discs, you'll see some of your favorite horror podcasting boys in the bonus features. You see me doing a little interview with Chris Adamson. You'll see us in a little vox pop speaking after we saw the movie. You look lovely on screen, Ben. I've never seen you in such high definition.
Have you not? Not even in the
Not even with my
flesh.
human 720p eyes.
Oh man. I've saw a lot of people have got their hands on it. Um, I need to get my hands on it. So yeah, you got what else do you get in the little set? Like a
There's
little postcard?
some lovely postcards. There's a signed poster if you order pre-order early
Mm.
enough that Jake will sign directly. Got a little poster in there, and not only the film in ultra HD 4K edition, but two Blu-rays full of I think about 9 hours worth of bonus content.
Oh man, there we go,
There,
mate.
there's audio proper like the original glory days of DVD extras. You know, you've
Yeah,
got director's commentary, you've got like special effects, specialist commentaries as well. Tons and tons of that bonus stuff. Lots to sink your old teeth into.
amazing. I mean, do you know what? I feel like that's something we need to do. Is we need to get on and do a big Razor Blade special episode with Jake, diving into the film. Don't review it at the end because you know that'd be awkward. But but yeah,
8 out of 10. What?
8 out of 10. Excuse me, I thought I was quite generous. No.
No, it's that or nothing. Um, Not all about the stuff you can enjoy in the comfort of your own home, which you can, of course. But if you fancy getting out and about and you are anywhere near Leith in Scotland this week, April the 23rd to the 26th, you can get yourself out for both indoor and outdoor screenings at Fiends in the Furrows Folk Horror Festival. Sadly, my dance card is full this week already. Otherwise, I would definitely be there. Have a listen to some of these screenings they got going on. Some are sold out, but there are still tickets for some available. Lair of the White Worm from Ken Russell.
Oh yeah.
Vi, Ganja and Hess. Noroi, The Curse, The Devil, Clear Cut and then over the weekend there are, in addition to the films, La Llorona, the Crying Woman, not the Conjuring verse one, the other one. Eve's Bayou, The Wickerman, The Village, Watership Down, the Rupert Russell documentary, The Last Sacrifice that we enjoyed so much last year,
Oh
Ennis
yeah.
Ben. There are also additional events, talks from horror experts, like Dr. Catherine Lester is doing a conversation on Watership Down. There are events, there are RPG gaming sessions, there is a closing party with a DJ set that's playing going late into the night over the weekend as well. Looks pretty rad. If wouldn't get
Remind me
myself divorced by
what's
going
that
away
called?
all the time to horror film festivals, then I would be there.
Fiends in the Furrow, did you say?
Fiends in the Furrows
Oh
in
yeah.
Leith.
Okay. We'll put that in the show notes if anybody fancies getting
Yeah.
involved. That sounds good. Some absolute classics there, some terrifying films. Watership Down as well, you know.
I was talking to a friend of the show, Daisy, the and she said, you could do an episode on that. It's horrible.
Yeah, it is pretty horrible. I remember being pretty freaked out by that one back in the day.
Yeah.
Is that
But apart
everything?
from that, yeah, like apart from that, I guess we'll mention it as we transition into what we've been watching because I've got some podcast
Okay,
updates. But
cool.
yeah, well, what we've been watching.
Okay, so anything we've been watching in the last 7 days or maybe longer for you, Terrell? Anything you wanted to recommend, old or new?
Um, Akira's the first one, which I saw in IMAX saw it on Friday, so it was actually before I watched The Mummy. I watched a back-to-back screening
Oh, you did?
in IMAX. And yeah, Akira's incredible. If anyone's never seen it that's listening, it's like the anime film really that put anime on the map worldwide.
Mm.
And it's one of those films that I think the more you watch it, or I've found the more I watch it as I get older, I take more from it and understand it more because it's quite complex thematically.
Mm.
But I think what really stands out about Akira is just the animation and the hand-drawn animation, especially in this time of AI and certain people thinking that AI can just replicate what animated films could look like or anything like that. It's like the level of detail and soul that's in the animation of Akira. And
Mm.
there's like certain facts. I think 327 individual colors were used in the making of Akira, and they even invented like 50 new colors on the spectrum
Oh my
whilst making
gosh.
that film because it's so detailed and it's all like hand drawn. So that was incredible. Another film I saw, which is a film that just came out, and I'm guessing it's in like a limited release in the UK, is called Blades of the Guardians, which is like a wuxia film like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Hero, or House of Flying Daggers. And I
Mm.
went into that one blind. I just kind of saw the poster. I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I'm just gonna go watch it. And I was like quite blown away by that. Like that was a really epic, like I don't know how to really describe it. It's just like an epic wuxia film with like a lot of action, really like incredible action. That reminded me of Fury Road at times with some of the
Mm.
action sequences. Like there's this whole kind of sword fight sequence amongst this fight on horseback with arrows, all in the middle of this sandstorm. And it's
Oh
like
wow.
one of those crazy things where you're like, only Asian cinema could present this type of crazy
Yeah.
action sequence and make it work. And then I found out afterwards it's actually based on a Chinese comic. So I bought the comic
Oh
afterwards as
yeah, no,
well.
I did
Wow.
see you post about the film, and I saw you
Yeah,
got the comic as well. So
and
that's awesome.
that's
Get that
like
on
one
the
of my
watch list.
favorites. Yeah, of the year, definitely.
Is it the
Yeah.
first
To jump back
adaptation
to
of that comic?
Akira for a second for
Okay,
you,
go on.
Terrelle. Just wanted to ask you the big question. I know they've been trying to do it for ages. Do you think it is possible for the powers of Hollywood to ever create a live action version of that film and do it
No,
justice?
no. Like I was actually Googling like about Akira yesterday, and I happened to come across some concept art for a film that the one that they were developing in the early 2010s, and I never knew that actors were attached to it at that point. So they had Chris Evans as Kaneda, and as Tetsuo it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So there's concept art of them actually for that film that was in development, and just looking at the concept art, it's like this looks awful. Like it looks like it would be Dragon Ball Evolution type of
Yeah.
awful.
Oh my goodness.
Um, and it's like, yeah, I can't. And I remember recently as well, there was rumor of Jordan Peele and there was rumor of Taika Waititi apparently developing two different points. They were like directors that
Yeah.
were rumored to be apart, and I just can't see anyone really making that work
You also
in
don't
live
need to,
action.
right?
Yeah,
Like, because it's a perfectly credible movie, and also you know that like even if they moved heaven and earth to make it happen, that monkey's paw would curl, and Jared Leto
yeah,
would be in it, and you would be able to enjoy
yeah.
it.
I think it's one of those films that when you watch it, you realize how much it's influenced, like live action, like
Yeah,
films, like sci-fi and
and
stuff like that.
Matrix and all, yeah,
Yeah.
so many different things.
How do you feel about the Ghost in the Shell adaptation with Scarlett Johansson? Do you-
I I fell asleep the first time I saw it, but I don't think I hated it. But I think it just didn't really work for me
Yeah,
because
I think.
I've been meaning to rewatch it because I've bought the manga of that as well, the
Mm,
complete collection, but I haven't read through it yet. But I, if I remember correctly, they did something with the story to try and justify why she was a white woman. I remember
oh,
there was like a moment
yeah,
where she like talks to I think it's a Japanese character, and they're discussing something, and there was some sort of in-universe reason for why they made her
yeah,
a white. And at that point, I thought, oh, you would have been better off just ignoring that and just carrying on the straight and
Yeah.
narrow
the
and making
memes
just
when she
yeah,
was cast were just ridiculous, weren't they? They were just like news. Scarlett Johansson has
yeah,
been cast as, and it'd just be like any
yeah,
famous role, like person of color, any role, or any Asian person role. It's like Scarlett Johansson is playing Shrek in it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Just like
yeah, yeah.
I don't know why I made that jump to an animated character, but you know what I mean. It was that ridiculous. I think that's the point I'm trying to make.
I think the visual effects, from what I remember, the visual effects and some of the action did look good, but I just think that as a
Mm.
whole, it was like I kind of missed the mark on Ghost of the Shell as a whole.
Yeah, I think
But
if you didn't know is that if you had no idea what the anime was, like it was a serviceable like sort of sci-fi film. Um, but yeah, I think comparing it to that is a bit mad.
And it
Um,
can be like I know anime can be adapted. I've not seen Alita Battle Angel, but by all accounts,
that's
it's
really good. Yeah,
quite
that
well.
is a
Yeah, yeah, it's quite well
there have been
taken on
rumors of that
and
getting a remake. Sorry, not a remake, a
sequel.
sequel.
I think
Yeah,
Robert Rodriguez keeps teasing or saying that he wants to do it, but I don't know if there's any real movement on it. Because I would love to see that get. Because I wasn't really ever aware of what that was until I saw the film, and then I realized it was the manga. Because I
Yeah, me
always
too.
knew of it as just a film that James Cameron said he always wanted to make, and then he
Mm,
never did, and then he passed it on to Robert Rodriguez, and but that was like impressive, and
mm.
it really ended on a note where it's like, yeah, we're gonna make a sequel, and then it's not really happened.
and I'm not sure they could do Z or Beyond, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think Stephen Chow could do a passable Dragon Ball movie.
Yeah,
I think he could. If anyone can, it's Stephen Chow.
yeah.
I don't know why I thought this, but literally, it's not horror related at all, and it's not an adaptation of an anime, but Street Fighter trailer. I don't know. I
Quite
don't
funny.
know.
Can't
I'm
wait.
like halfway impressed and halfway not, but I'm like, at least they're they're playing into just the craziness and
Yeah.
the wackiness of it, I think, in a way which I kind of find admirable, even though I'm like, I don't know if this looks good or not, but it kind of looks fun.
Um,
Looks like the
I feel
exact kind of stupid shit I love.
Yeah.
after that trailer, I'm locked in. Before I was a bit like, well, see what happens. But after that trailer, I'm like, hell yeah! Like it's the most insane cast ever, surely, isn't it? Like when you just even that on paper, you look at that cast, it's ridiculous. Like Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, 50 Cent. It's just like they've given him the Balrog like
Yeah,
hairline
yeah.
and everything, and I'm just like, yeah, yeah, great.
I just like how colorful it looks. Like it's nice to have a film that's so vibrant and colorful, and there's like the cinematography actually looks quite good
Mm.
for a film of that
I'll,
type. It's like,
I'll do a comparison, right? So in the latest Mortal Kombat trailer, when there's like the final moment and there's like a get over here, I cringed a bit. Don't know why, but I cringed a bit. Just I thought like, oh, it doesn't feel like it has a place. However, when the Hadouken moment happens in the Street Fighter trailer, I got chills.
it almost felt like a
So
Dragon Ball Z moment that did. It's like
Yeah.
yeah,
they worked it in well.
so yeah, sometimes it works. It feels like they're going for that ultra, not ultra realism. What am I thinking of? Ultra
Ultra
like
stylized, right? It's
ultra
almost
stylized, but like
like it's
exactly as it
it's
is.
one camera effect away from it being a cell shaded movie.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why I thought I mentioned that. I just thought like with you
You've got
guys,
to let these things out.
I've got to let it out. Yeah. Anything else at all, Terrell?
What else did I see? I saw a lot that week. Oh, I watched Jurassic Park again. That was shown in the cinema, and I was like,
Oh
oh, I'm
yeah,
gonna go
because of
see this in the cinema.
Spielberg.
Yeah, season they've got going on, and that was just magical again. It's the second time I've seen it in the cinema, and it's always been one of my favorite films since I was a kid anyway, but like it's one of those ones where like every time, and I don't watch it that often, but every time I do see it, it's like it like renews that
Mm,
love. Not that it ever goes away, but that love for cinema, like reminds me. I was like, oh, this was the one that made me like love cinema. Like it's
yeah.
just it feels so magical watching it, and it still has that essence of like cinema magic within it when you watch it.
So they're showing just like a few Spielberg films,
Yeah, so
like
I
the
think
sixth
they've
season.
done Lost World this week, and then I think it's E.T. next week, and then Jaws the following week.
Mm. What do you expect from this new Spielberg film? I can't get really get my head around it currently.
I feel like
It's
it'll be like a. I don't have that high expectations for it, but he did recently say, I think at CinemaCon, that n none of the third act is in any of the marketing, so that
yeah.
kind of piques my
Okay.
interest a bit more.
I saw him say that, and I saw someone say, "Well, that should be for every film," and I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Um,
If
absolutely,
anyone deserves taking a punt, it's probably Steven Spielberg, right?
probably Steve, isn't it? Yeah, and also Jurassic Park. Go back to Jurassic Park. Horror elements, absolutely, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, we could do an episode on that. We'd get away with it.
yeah, that's the scene in the kitchen, like all the T-Rex stuff from early on in the film. It is just scary.
And the
Uh,
opening scene is a horror cold open.
oh God, yeah, yeah, that always freaked me out.
And Samuel L. Jackson's dismembered arm, the
Oh
jump
yeah,
scare.
just
Yeah.
falls down right at the last moment.
Yeah.
The true horror of that with Samuel L. Jackson is how his cigarette don't fall out his mouth. It's like hanging
Yeah.
on by it's hanging on by a thread. At one point, it's just stuck to his bottom lip. That's a fire hazard. That is, for God's sake. Oh, uh, Andy, you seen anything?
Couple of bits, Ben. Been using my ears to listen
That's good.
to a fair bit. Loads of my favorite horror podcasts are either back or they're taking up like some big milestones. Obviously, been listening to Terrelle and catching up with him while I was doing some chores in the garden. But Kim and M versus Evil has kicked off with the second season. They're talking
Oh,
about
nice.
the horror of like beauty. So they've talked about The Beauty, which launched on Disney Plus earlier this year. I listened to an episode just as I was making my dinner this evening about The Ugly Stepsister and Neon Demon. And in their podcast, they really look at who the true villain of any of these films are. Like fairly horror centric, but things that you would put into the thriller territories. Or they've done an episode on The Hand That Rocks the Cradle and so on. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. Scaredy Boys, the Australian horror movie podcast, they hit 300 episodes and did a Jaws 3D episode as well. Always enjoy listening to what those lads have got going on. And finally,
Yeah,
just before we got recording, we'll listen to one after we finish today. That's Sick. So, friend of the show, Ash, her podcast, along with her friend and co-presenter Josh, is now on the podcast app that I use. So I'm going to catch up on that after we finish here today.
brilliant. It's still just two episodes. They've got
Just
Together
two at
and
the minute.
Return to Silent Hill on there, haven't they? Yeah,
That's right. So I'm going to get and listen to those and get all caught up
nice.
shortly. But the only other thing I watched is I wanted a little bit more of the mummy in my life. Now, typing in mummy movie wasn't the search result I was originally hoping for. It did go a little bit awry. Quite a lot of hits. Not all things I'd want to talk about on this podcast, but I did manage to dive into a absolute late 90s gem that I wasn't well, no, maybe I did. I was aware of. I think I was aware of its original name. I remember seeing, and maybe you two video shop lads will know. I remember seeing a video release called Talos, the Mummy, a late 90s sort of in the Relic era. Um,
Talos.
Talos the Mummy, but it's not
Hmm.
called that. It's just called Tales of the Mummy.
Oh,
Now
okay.
it had its title changed from back in the day. It's just called Tale of the Mummy, 1998. Um, listen to this for a cast. This is peak. Jason Scott Lee as the guy who played Bruce Lee in Bruce Lee the Dragon Story.
Yeah.
Um, Louise Lombard, Sean Pertwee, Lysette Anthony, Michael Lerner, Jack Davenport, Shelley Duvall, Christopher Lee, and only in it for about 5 minutes, Jerry Butler. There
I
is
don't even know what to say. I don't
a
even know what to
90s
say.
power cast for
Crazy.
you. Those are, and then on it, like, I would say proper late 90s schlock. I think I texted you, Ben, and said, like, it's got, you could call this Nile because it's a bit like Congo in the fact that
Mm.
the mummy goes around doing Emotep stuff. He's like flying about London, slurping the organs out of people so he can be resurrected. He's, doing all kinds
Who
of
plays the
crazy
mummy?
things. Hmm?
Who plays the mummy in that?
He's mostly bandages, mate. He's flying
Okay.
around.
Sorry. I thought it was going to be one of those people you just said.
No,
Just bandages, man.
well, I could tell you something a bit later, but yeah, spoiler. It is bananas. It is absolutely crazy. It was just the kind of 90s mummy
Yeah.
film that I wanted. It is very, very British. It's all set in London. Sean Pertwee chewing every little bit of scenery, more so than he does in like Dog Soldiers, even. It is brilliant.
I'm seeing some
Brilliantly
screenshots
terrible.
now. It looks absolutely wild.
Absolutely off the chain. And this mummy is trying to get back together. He's got Emotep energy, old Talos the mummy, because he is trying to gather all his organs again, ready for the planets to be aligned. And he has, he could have come back a little bit sooner. He has come back when he's only got 3 days to gather all this stuff, so
Oh,
we can take over the world at the planet alignment.
yeah.
Um, and the detectives are like, look. When I was texting you about it, there was a moment where they go into this man who they suspect of being, behind these murders that are going on, and he's gone mad, and his house is full of like Egypt stuff, and there's a load of sand on the floor. He's in his process of going mad. You know what he's done, Ben? He's written on the walls. You know what he's written? Am I going mad? Question mark several times. It is
Probably, yeah. Sounds like it.
wicked. And I tell you what, the greatest gift I can give to both of you and everyone listening today as well. Tale of the Mummy is free to watch on YouTube.
Oh, yes.
I
Yeah,
just looked at
man.
a screenshot and he looks like a superhero. He stood there and you can see part of the bandages like flapping behind him, like he's got like a
Yeah.
blindfold on.
What I want is to live in a world where they go, there's a new mummy film. And rather than people going, is it the Brendan Fraser one? They go, what, a sequel to Tale of the Mummy? That's what we want.
And only the
That's-
real OGs will know that Talos is his name because there's a big thing about them erasing his name. I feel
Oh,
the gatekeepers of Hollywood have tried to take this mummy's name away and like
there's
rob him of his power. Maybe it's
an,
a true thing.
an image with Sean Pertwee with his head shaved and like tattoos on his head.
Yeah, he's gone
I've
mad.
I recognize that. I feel like I've seen that. So I reckon I might watch this film, and I'm in the recesses of my mind. I may have seen it because I
Get,
watched crap lists in the 90s all the time.
get into your mind, Phallus Ben. I think this has got an episode of our Hangout written all over it one of these days.
Oh yeah, man. You know I'm up for that.
Everyone
Is that
get stuck
everything?
in and watch that. But apart from that, just the film of the week. But what about you, Ben? Anything else?
Just one thing for me. So I watched Night Patrol. It's just premiered on Shudder. It's directed by Ryan Prowse, and it's kind of like a vampire LA cop gang warfare fair film with Justin Long, Jermaine Fowler, Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk, and loads of other people as well. And you know what? I kind of had a good time with it. It's really like again, like stylized. It reminded me a little bit at times that film End of Watch, with Jake Gyllenhaal
Okay.
and Michael
Oh yeah.
Pena. I'm pretty sure that's set in LA. I think it is actually.
Yeah, it
I
is.
think
Yeah.
it's like around, in and around South Central, isn't it? So it kind of reminded me a bit like that. In terms of a vampire film, it's got like a bit of a near dark vibe. It's kind of like there isn't much in terms of vampire mythology happening in it, but there are kind of like vampires. And Justin Long is like does really well. He is so like Justin Long. You wouldn't necessarily think of him as ex Navy SEAL turned cop turned vampire. When you think that in your head, like I can't really picture Justin Long as that. But he
Two
was
of those
great.
things, sure, but not all three.
Yeah, two of those things definitely, but not all three. But he was so good. And CM Punk's kind of just doing like a standard bad guy shtick. But I kind of liked it. It was pretty cool as like a little genre flick. And the the tagline is "Defang the police." I mean, I don't even
Oh, very
I don't
That
even know.
good.
sells it.
That sells it. I don't even know what it means. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's kind of like the. I don't want to spoil anything, but that's kind of the thing. Like the police are this obvious this threat, and the night patrol is kind of like these guys who just go around like killing people willy-nilly, and it turns out that there's a little bit more to it than just police brutality. There is also maybe uh, a vampire thing going on. That's as much as I'll say. But it's on Shudder now, so I think worth checking out.
Got it on the watch
Definitely.
list.
Yeah, maybe what Frank Grillo's Werewolves was to werewolves, Night Patrol is to vampires. If any of you saw that one, I don't know.
I did see that one.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Just like, yeah, I think you know what I mean by that. But worth checking out anyway. But yeah, apart from that, just Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Right, let me find a synopsis for
Tell
this
us all
one.
about it, Ben.
Tell us all about it. Well, apparently it's directed by someone called Lee Cronin. Don't know if you knew that. Uh, so, Lee Cronin's The Mummy, a 2026 American supernatural horror film. It's a reimagining of the Mummy franchise. The film stars Jack Reynor, Laia Costa, May Calamawy, Natalie Grace, and Verónica Falcón. Or maybe Falcon. I don't know why I've just turned her into the one of the crime family from Batman. One of them. The film follows a family who's reunited with their long missing mummified daughter and realize something is wrong with her. In terms of ratings, we've got 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, 47% critic score, 76% audience score, Letterboxd 2.8 out of 5. Some choice reviews from Letterboxd. Blair says, Evil Dead, Deadites go to Egypt. 4.5 stars. Jonathan Fuji says, yeah, I don't care how long my daughter was missing. If that is how you found her, just keep her, bro. 3 stars. Bit harsh. Oh, yeah. So I saved this one, but I did kind of rip this one off. But it was my faults as well. Cobb. Something tells me Lee Cronin likes split diopter shots. 3 stars. 3.5 stars. Somebody split diopter shots were like, I was like, is there even they're next to each other? There's not even like a depth of field that we need to see in this one. He's just added it. Noah Duzant says, if you ever wondered how awful the boyfriend from Midsummer would fare as a father, the answer is somehow worse.
Oh, God. I was thinking as we watched, like, of all the people to choose, and that bit of your beard, little soul patch is a bit long.
I did keep thinking of that.
Give that a
Because
trim.
yeah, right. So my fault's exactly 2.5 stars. Noah says as well. That soul patch when it grows on my beard, if you notice, I always get rid of it completely. I can't help but disgusting. Suck on it.
Yeah, be in your teeth.
I've always got it in my mouth, and for some reason when I was watching it, it was bothering me when he had it. I was like, oh mate, get rid of that.
Just when he's anytime he's lit from behind, you can see it's a bit too long. It's longer than the rest of your beard.
Yeah. Oh my god.
No wonder you're stuck on as a producer on Albuquerque television, not anchoring New
Yeah.
York news.
He was close though. He got the gig. Yeah. So Lee Cronin's The Mummy. I guess the first thing I'm going to say is, was this anything like you expected it was going to be? I guess.
I think to a agree because I think just by having his name attached to it, I suppose, and then some of the early reactions I did see, which mentioned Evil Dead, I was like, okay, I love Evil Dead Rise, so if I'm gonna get
Mm.
more Evil Dead, I was thinking, okay, if I go in knowing that's what this is, I'll probably stand a chance of liking it more.
Mm. Yeah. Do you feel like that perhaps is where it came unstuck? The fact it was maybe.
Yes, but I think there's another film which I think might even be even more of. So The Exorcist, I think, is the thing I didn't hear about going in,
Yeah.
and I think it's more closely aligned to The Exorcist
Mm.
to a fault
It kind of gets
than
stuck in the middle ground between The Exorcist and Evil Dead, doesn't it?
yeah,
Um,
Missing link.
the missing link,
We've
even
got
adding
here.
things like, and again, we'll get into this film. We'll be spoiling everything, but even like the dialogue of the possessed, I guess it was getting to a
yeah,
point where I was a bit like, if you just sat me down and said, "Here's the new Evil Dead," and played that to me, I'd be like, "Well, I didn't expect the Egypt stuff, but I guess
yeah.
that was quite Evil Dead, wasn't it?" Um, yeah, I
Did I
think.
read this right that this wasn't always going to be called the Mummy at all?
Oh, okay.
It was like
So
called
I'm
like
not
the
sure if.
Unearthed or something like that,
Oh
or
yeah, I
the
did see something about that. I don't know if that was. I think what I read was that potentially because the script ended up being so different, they did contemplate making it its own thing, and
Yeah.
then they were like, actually, no, we will stick with the Mummy, which I think kind of speaks for itself in a way. If you were that close to changing the title to something completely different,
Yeah. What
then
did what
it's
did you
probably.
say it was maybe called, Andy?
like the Unearthed or like the Unliving or something like I
I think
literally have
Unearthed
to look
was
it
it.
up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was Unearthed.
I
Yeah,
think like yeah, like have a mummy film or like an Egypt based horror film or a film based on Egyptian mythology and its history without it needing to be a mummy film, I guess, because I know she gets mummified. Why, I suppose that is what a mummy is.
Call it Mean Daughter.
I just think I felt watching this film, I felt like I could see the points where he was trying to force like mummy adjacent stuff in it so it could justify itself being called the mummy. Whereas it didn't
Yeah.
feel like that those were natural elements of what he was trying of the film that he wanted to tell.
Mm. Yeah, it is a weird one because I feel like even the case of like a person going missing and being found, like, isn't that pretty much what the Exorcist Believer was as
Yeah,
well?
I think that's why it kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I think it felt like the original Exorcist once she gets back to the house and they're tending to her and she's convulsing and she's
Yeah.
but then I think the beginning part is also so similar to Exorcist Believer that I think that's where it started to feel like, oh, I've seen this already. Like we literally just had this a few years ago and we're doing that type of film again.
Yeah. We literally had it a few years ago and it didn't go down well.
Yeah.
People didn't enjoy it.
Not
Um,
here to like to punch these things up or anything, but I think the thing that struck me, the question that even in the cinema, while I'm enjoying some of the graphical like gore effects that we get, some of the scares in here, from a narrative perspective, I kept coming back and asking myself, like, why did you have to go back to America and have this set back at home? I imagine because Egypt is more expensive to make appear on screen, but I would have just thought you could have had maybe a shorter time between disappearance and return. You could have had, you could have had the sort of character drama and the pressure of, and the police suspect you, and it's affected your family, and you're in an unfamiliar place, maybe where you don't trust the authorities in the same way. Maybe the mother has come over. Like maybe you could have done this in the location that you're already in, that is naturally quite tied to the mythology in the first place, and you could have had a bit more of a role in that investigation rather than going to go and see this professor at the local university who go, "We help me investigate this," and he goes, "Oh, sure. Well, what are you trying to investigate? A private matter. Well, fuck you. I'm not helping you then. See ya."
I know what you
That
mean
is
though,
a
because
good point actually. Oh, sorry.
I mean, all I was going to say, sorry, Terrell, was that like the tension, having the tension like ramped up, trying to and like a race against time to find her immediately. That kind of like immediate, like, oh, now it's 8 years later. It kind of just like takes away all of that
Yeah.
tension, doesn't it? A bit, and
And I
then you
get
kind of
it. So
think,
you can age up the kid, right? So it's not like, oh, we're gonna have to put a 10-year-old through this amount of makeup and all
Yeah.
this other stuff and do rotten, horrible things. But I don't know.
What were you going to say then, Terrell? Sorry, before I move.
Oh, as I say, it was a good point that Andy said because I never thought of that. Like, I think that does play into that feeling because it's like the moment they leave Egypt and set the story in America, it's like we've seen this. Like, if you left it in Egypt, it would have felt more different, even if it was still very similar to what it ended up being, because at
Mm,
least you then could have used the location to your advantage to create new sequences or create,
yeah.
just something a bit different that felt more tied to the overall like theme of the mummy.
Because even those bits when he was running after her, and everyone was running away from the sandstorm, and what I kind of thought was, this is what I kind of thought in my head at this time it happened. Like, imagine that sandstorm just takes over, everybody runs in to their houses. Then you've almost got like a bit of a original Silent Hill scenario where you're running after this shadow in the sand. They could have really lent into that and made that like this sort of section. Him working with that police officer to try and like unpick this mystery. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of he suspected maybe by the rest of the police force, but not her. And even like in terms of the saying it was like seven, even that bit where she eventually goes to the house, could have been like a Buffalo Bill moment in Silence of the Lambs. Like her discovering this, that woman getting home, and like the tension of that. Because I felt it a little bit, but I just felt like it never really lent into it enough. And I mean, having that sort of like pyramid in the house is an interesting concept in itself, isn't it? I think even the iconography of that pyramid, which wasn't necessarily Egyptian, that kind of like, what was it, like a bat skeleton or something? Was that what it was?
Well, like I guess it was like, is that showing how deep it's buried, right? Because you basically have that's the tip of the pyramid that is
Yeah, no, of
visible in the
course, yeah.
basement of their house, and then you go deep below the
It's a
earth, and
great
I can imagine
visual.
inside it, right?
Mm,
Like it's obviously like some sort of black pyramid where this terrible,
yeah.
um, like thing is entombed and like kept a prisoner.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's-
but like I think there are issues that are left with condensing the timeline, but you could have had a bit more connected fodder. Like maybe we could have seen the death of the old detective as part of the investigation, which means the younger detective has to step up and like go
mm,
into his role. Like that could have been part of the curse or whatever. Like you could have done some cool stuff, but nice to
yeah.
punch these things up. They went like I think the thing that really got me about the change was you then went to what felt like an area that you could visually link to Egypt by setting it in like Albuquerque, New Mexico. You wanted the desert scenario. You wanted there to be coyotes and scorpions and big
Mm.
dust sandstorms that you can create as well. But I don't know, like, could you've not engineered a way for them just to stay in the country that they were in, and also it also takes off that thing of like, yeah, we're just bringing back this incredibly fucked up little girl back across, and she's being released from this hospital and being allowed to fly internationally. Imagine being on that flight. Oh, trip to America at long last. Do you mind if we? Do you mind having the middle seat? Sorry, my daughter's got an access requirement. She's going to need to go on the end. She's kicking your chair the old way.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
also, the guy says, when they first show her off, he's like, "Oh, don't give her any shocks, sudden sounds, sudden movements." And when they take her back in the house on the wheelchair, they're just banging her up the stairs, like,
I was
like just,
literally like, can
it's
they
like,
not
what?
carry her?
It's like the
Can they
most
not carry?
ruthless way. It was just like, just bang, bang, like they were doing it on purpose.
Can we have the heaviest wheelchair, please?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the thing is like even the stuff that's like kind of interesting, it never really like leans into enough. Like, yeah, I don't know, the pressures of caring for a loved one and the way relationships break down when one person maybe is struggling more than the other parent, in terms of those care needs. I don't know. I feel like everything that they said was just sorry, every part of that relationship was just said out loud, whereas we needed to live with it a bit and understand it.
Yeah.
Even the bits where you blame me, don't you? And I was a bit like,
Oh God, that bit I was like, shut up. Like,
yeah, yeah,
have you ever thought you're a bloody mother? Oh no.
yeah.
It felt like
That's
one of those
before this-
self-explanatory moments where like the actor is telling the audience what they may have missed, but it's like we may have missed it because you didn't show it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just frustrating when that happens because I'm like, I want to believe that, but I just don't. Yeah, it's just exposition heavy. Yeah, there's an old doll's house full of what was the treat called? Tut-
It was like
what was-
when I first was like Tut's nuts. No, it's Tut's treasures is what it is.
Tut's treasures. She's been absolutely nailing hundreds of them, and I was like, oh wow,
I mean,
we've all been there.
Yeah, we'll get into this in a minute, but my first section was saying, "Oh, that brother fucking eats shit first in this film because most of it's his fault.
Oh, I did kind of like the brother. I thought he had a bit of personality to him, didn't
He's a real fucking piece of work, Ben. He's got a bad personality."
he? Oh my god.
And
Okay.
I fully accept she was right to be mad that the brother didn't get bollocked at all.
Oh yeah, that's true. Didn't even tell him off.
So we get a cold open first, right, where we get some like a family having a lovely road trip, doing some sing-songing in the car.
Oh
They're
yeah.
in Egypt, but the mother is a bit of a crosspatch. We'll understand a bit later. She goes, "Stop that bloody singing, will you?" Probably pours cold water on that.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, they arrive home. Their pet bird has died, and apparently that confirms that. Oh shit!
Something's going on. Let's go.
someone's-
Let's go and look in the Black Pyramid under the ground in our house.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though. All of these like decades long blood oaths and pacts that people make. I'm so glad everyone's making videotapes of them. I feel like in the last year or so,
Same video
I've seen
shop where you can get the Bring Her Back tape.
Bring Her
from.
Back tape. I think I've seen about 10 of them in VHS films. And now we got this one. Yeah, it's handy, really, isn't it? It's like a how-to guide, pretty much. Like the mum is making a how-to guide for how to do this. I thought there's got to be another way. So yeah, they go down under the house where they've got like a mostly buried black pyramid, and inside there's like a sarcophagus, which holds the mummified remains of a body. They like open it a crack just to check if just to check if he's awake.
Unfortunately, the dad suffers an accident at work that wasn't his fault.
Oh yeah, God, what even happened there? I guess are we supposed to just think?
The mummy, I guess, gives her a bit of a fright, and then they've winched it up with a big, dangerous crank, and he
Yeah.
just gets pierced on it. I guess he gets
Pierce on a crank.
Very Evil Dead-esque that was as well. Very just
Yeah,
kind of
there were
slapstick kind of horror, which I did like in that scene. I thought the gore was done
Mm.
pretty well in that scene, and a good way to set you up for the film.
definitely there are a
obviously
few
not
like
watched the
few Evil Dead
VHS
moments.
video about cranking safely.
Yeah, because there was a bit where someone like ended up with their like face impaled on a tree as well. A little bit later, it was very Evil Dead, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Um,
very like the Evil Dead gore. Like Lee Cronin is nailing this. He knows how to do a disturbing scene, right? When you can be impaled your eye so it gets poked out and scares a wee boy.
Yeah. What's the worst one he's done? Do you think it was the cheese grater?
Cheese
in
grater.
Cheese grater.
Cheese grate or eating the glass in Evil Dead.
I'll tell you what, there's a moment in this one that might rival it because I feel like it really taps into a fear I feel like I've got.
Do you sometimes leave your toenails a bit too long to cut, Ben?
No, it's not that. Well, obviously we'll get to this moment. You know when you get like a little bit of skin on your finger and you kind of like
Yeah.
A little
nibble
bit
that.
low. Yeah.
And there's always a moment where you think, if I nibble this and it just goes like rips all the way down your arm. When that bit happened in this, I was like, oh
Yeah, I did cringe at that.
Christ. Like that is
It's so
just-
sudden as well, isn't it? Because you don't really think that's gonna happen, and like
No.
how exaggerated it gets. It's like, oh my god, like, it's not even a little bit up. It's just like halfway
Yeah, that
up.
was terrible.
It was unbelievable. I'd have one look at those toenails and go, absolutely not.
Why
I'm
didn't they
gonna
do this in the hospital?
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Yeah. So what we
Could have
got?
washed your hair for us, thanks.
Oh, I take a lovely color. So it's in Cairo. In Cairo, investigative TV reporter Charlie Cannon lives with his pregnant wife Larissa and their children Katie and Sebastian.
Talks too much with his hands when he's on the telly.
Talks so much with his hands was on TV. He was on TV as well, and his daughter just turned it off. I guess one key
He
thing
knows
they're
what he's
doing-
going to say.
Yeah. One key thing here is that Katie is in the like Cairo Girl Guides. Is that what it is?
She's in Cairo Scouts and she's doing some of Chekhov's Morse code to him,
Yeah, she's
getting ready
doing
for her
some
exam.
learning some Morse code. Um, it was quite a nice transition, wasn't it, when they were doing the Morse code because it made it look like something was in the sarcophagus, kind of tapping, and then it
Yeah.
transitioned to him doing the Morse code. And you say Chekhov's Morse code. I will say that as one element of it that I enjoyed them returning to.
Yeah, that was cool.
I think it was done pretty well. Because honestly, I reckon if someone was chattering their teeth at me like that, you could do it for days on end, and I would never go. I think they're doing Morse code to me.
Yeah.
Though to be fair, those close-ups of the teeth as well affected me a little bit. I was a bit like
Yeah.
looking away. So yeah, and so his wife was she a nurse? A nurse?
She works at the hospital. I'm not sure it's
Yeah.
established.
Works at the hospital, and then while Charlie is obviously busy doing various things, and the kids get into an argument and stuff.
You say
Um,
busy.
what's he doing?
He's cocking about at home. Yeah, so the before the mum goes to work, the the kids have a fight
Yeah.
because rotten little boy has thrown her dolly off the roof
Mm.
and he doesn't get told off. So she's pissed off with her dad and goes to hang out in their large garden. And the dad leaves her out there in the hot Egyptian sun for 6 hours. 'Cause it's about three that he last saw her.
Oh my God. Is that it? Is that legit?
Yeah, it says like the mum would have seen her just before. They say when they're being interviewed by the police,
Uh,
um,
oh yeah, saw it at
that she
11.
last saw him just before 9, and then he would have last seen her about 3.
Mm. So she's
She's
out
been
there.
busy inside receiving one phone call.
It's a long old phone call. So she's like having a little bit of a tea party. She plays with a little girl called
Layla.
Layla. That's it. Um, regularly, but Layla doesn't turn up. Instead, her mum turns. I was getting like the witches vibes from this. Remember when
Yeah.
the witches turn up in that film? And she goes, "I'm a magician. Do you wanna see a magic trick?" Oh God, we all know where this is going. It's going to be something sinister. So the woman is the mum from earlier in the film. Um,
She had
'Cause-
spooky no eyes, but they're just shadow.
yeah. So she claims to be Layla's mother and lures Katie to the fence with candy. So she's clearly been like, how long before before you get a new victim to mummify do you start plying them with chocolate? Because there's probably loads of it. She was like doing the long game, like three
It's
or
like
four
weeks.
weeks, weeks
Well,
on
thing is, it's not
end.
a secret. It's not a lie, is it, that she is Layla's mum?
No, it's not a secret. She could have easily just gone,
All right, it's
Layla's,
me, that woman you know.
yeah, yeah, Layla's over here. When he come, yeah, it didn't really make sense. Um, but yeah, well, we don't see her get taken, but essentially when Charlie goes looking for her, um, there's like a hole in the fence, and
And she's been snatched out because also Layla's mum can do. She is a bit magic, right? Because she can make a magic beetle come out of a nectarine and paralyze you.
oh yeah, that bit, of course, yeah, yeah. So proper Snow White vibes, wasn't it? With that, so it was a nectarine, and then like a little scarab beetle comes out, and I'm kind of glad that they included little elements like this because at least this was kind of cool, like the scorpion bit, the scarab
Yeah, I
beetle,
just
I
assumed that
guess.
my assumption would be that she worked for the mummy because she can do mummy magic.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because I don't know what you guys thought. Did you guys kind of think that there was going to be like an actual? Did you think it was going to be like a force to possess someone, or did you
Yeah,
think
I
there was going
thought
to
that
be
she was
like?
trying to like make the mummy come back.
Yeah, that's
I
kind of
don't
what
know
it
what I
always
thought
is.
really. I don't know if I just thought it. I think I just thought it was some sort of possession thing, and she was already possessed at that point and trying to pass it on or something.
Hmm. It's a
Yeah, yeah,
weird
because
one,
we
isn't it?
saw the husband get got, and we don't know that the mummy hadn't got to her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because it's almost like the mummy isn't really a mummy, it's just a demonic force. I guess like similar to Pazuzu and the way Pazuzu was unearthed in the first, well, not unearthed because that's not how it works, was it? I'm getting mixed up with The Exorcist at the beginning, where I feel like they really did make out that like Pazuzu was just in a hole somewhere, and then they just
In a
oh
hole, got stuck.
yeah. Whereas obviously, I guess in the original, it's because the Pazuzu sort of the cold open in the Exorcist is just to establish that the priest is aware of this demon. Um, oh yeah, I kind of thought that was what it was going to be. It was going to be like I don't know, getting fed to this mummy in a way. Um, I kind of feel like maybe that's what this film was missing as well. That there should have been like a physical manifestation of this mummy as well, potentially.
Yeah, I think that would have gone a long way because I think without it, it's just I think I had a hard time like looking at the girl as the mummy. Like, although she was supposed to
Mm,
represent that in this film, it's like that's just a possessed little girl. That's not
yeah,
the entity. Whereas I think, yeah, if they had made like an actual creature design or some sort of physical figure at some point to represent that demon or that mummy, I
yeah.
think that could have made it feel more
Like maybe
uh
it could have come out maybe after a certain amount of time because really her being out of the sarcophagus was never supposed to happen, was it? So they could have done anything. They could have gone like, oh, she's because she's awake now. This force can come out of her for a bit. I don't know because also it was like it really picked and it was picking and choosing like when she was a physical threat. Sometimes you could just like pin her down and it was fine. Other times she could just kick a full grown man's ass.
Yeah, well, sometimes you've got anti-mummy injections that you can give her. What
Oh yeah.
medicine was she having?
Oh yeah, the anti-mummy injections. Was that just a tranquilizer? Was that what it
Yeah, I'm
was?
guessing just weakened her body, I guess.
Don't really know. Again, I know we're skipping around a bit. Don't really know how I feel about her like possessing the other kids as well.
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan.
I think that's where it treaded into the Evil Dead territory way too much because I think
Yeah.
it just felt like Evil Dead Rise again because that's kind of what happens in that film as well, and
Yeah.
it's kind of the Deadite thing anyway, where like anyone in the room's at risk of being kind of
Mm.
transformed, and I think that's when it. I think the film had already lost me by that point, but then I think that's when it just started
Yeah.
Yeah, it
really
starts
losing
to
me.
sort of unravel a bit like a mummy. Like
Also,
you
like a kid or anyone smashing their own face it's become a trope now, isn't it? Unfortunately, like obviously we've seen it.
And none will be better than Hereditary
No,
as
no,
well
I
because
was
like
gonna
that
say,
was the one
yeah,
where
yeah, yeah, because that's like absolutely brutal. Well, I guess we're a bit numb to it now, aren't we? Because of that.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, we just see you see it all. It's almost like a new version of a jump scare, isn't it? Where it's like somebody will just randomly start smashing their own face. To be fair, in Talk to Me as well, I think it was done pretty well.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, yeah,
It
that
can be
Yeah.
was.
like it can be done to different effect. I just think that sometimes the possession bits are just a little bit inconsistent, like who they can get and how at no point I haven't lived in a I've never lived in a house with a family of five, let alone six people that are in this one. I lived in a house where there was like, three of us live in there regularly. You still didn't get a bloody moment's peace walking into in each other's pockets all the time. I don't know how you could get fully possessed and no one walk and go,
And no one would know.
stop that. Like, it's this kind of laissez-faire parenting that got your daughter kidnapped in the first place. Keep an eye on them, especially when one of them is terribly, like, incapacitated from being turned into a mummy, which, by the way, no one ever says. There are several points in this movie where I've gone, the dad or the son or any character could have just gone, she's been turned into a fucking gross mummy.
Yeah,
Like,
they
your
just
sister,
go, oh,
yeah,
she's a little bit
we still
upset.
we still love your sister, but she is a horrible mummy now.
Oh, and I feel like the possession of the grandmother was probably the worst of it because
Unnecessarily sexual.
I that's what I'm thinking, right? Because we get it with the Evil Dead, with the Deadites. The Deadites are, first of all, they're trolls. They troll you. They want
Ever so rude, aren't they?
they're ever so rude. They say sexual stuff because and they're playful and do you know what I mean? Like we get it. But with this, I wouldn't necessarily think, even if it is a demon, an ancient Egyptian demon would bother trying to get a grandmother to, to say shit like that to her son-in-law. Come over here. I know I've been dead for 2 days, but come over and have a go on the old.
Absolutely chockers with embalming fluid. But look at my sexy
Oh,
body.
no,
He's
no,
getting
no.
right, he's right into it. We'll
I,
come
I,
to
but
we'll
yeah,
come
that
to
that's
that.
where it lost me a bit. And also, like, the other little girl was just like so innocent. I felt like they could have done so much more with her than just making her call her teacher a cunt.
Who is the woman from Evil Dead?
Oh, it was, wasn't it? What, when she did a little snot bubble out of her
Yeah.
nose? You're
Yeah,
right.
that is the lead actor from Evil Dead
Oh,
Rise.
that's her. I heard
Yeah.
she was in the film, but I couldn't work out where she was.
Yeah, that's her.
Ah,
I wasn't entirely sure. When she popped up, I was definitely like, hang on a minute, I recognize her. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Uh, okay, so
So she gets robbed off.
mm,
The dad realizing after real piece of work, her brother goes, "Oh, she told me not to mention this stranger danger to you, and I did so in exchange for getting all the chocolates as well, all me tuts nuts."
mm.
And yeah, he chases after her in the street, sprints after her like Tom Cruise, but she gets away.
Oh, so this woman carrying like a, how old is she? 10?
10. Yeah.
Carrying like a 10-year-old child can outrun this this man. I don't believe it. But anyway,
I put it to you that he wasn't even trying.
yeah, he wasn't even
Worst dad.
trying. Yeah. Um. So yeah, she vanishes, and then the sandstorm kind of like Darude sandstorm just takes over, completely envelopes him. Um. And yeah, and they go straight to the police, straight to the authorities, and they're working with an English-speaking junior detective, Dalia Zaki. Um. And the lead detective, it says heavily suspects the parents, but I guess is it
Heavily
just
suspects the parents. And you know what happens if someone heavily suspects me of a crime, Ben? I act as erratically as possible in the police station. I
yeah.
bang my fists on the table. I shout, show that I've got a temper.
I guess it's just his experience, isn't it? Like he says about how many people he's tried to find and how many of them he's found alive. And I guess, yeah, most of the time it's going to be someone linked to the family. But it's not helpful, is it, in the moment? You can say those things behind closed doors. I know he didn't necessarily speak. The other guy didn't understand him, but say those things behind closed doors. You what? You're accusing me, are you? In a language I don't understand. So
How dare you? In all this time I've lived here in Egypt, I've taken the liberty of learning a tiny bit of the language, and the only bits I've learned are the bits that allow me to understand when I'm being suspected of a crime, which
you
I'm
s-
statistically most likely to be guilty of.
you said the bloody dad did it, didn't you? Yeah. Um. But yeah, he didn't do himself any favors, did he? Here in this moment.
No.
But yeah, then we get that 8 year jump. I mean, how did you feel about that? I mean, for me, it was quite.
I think in the moment I didn't feel anything in particular, but then like what you said earlier, I think now if they had actually sat within that time frame longer, I
Mm.
think you could have made it more interesting. Because like you said, if that police detective was a more significant part of the story, that could have created like an interesting dynamic and conflict that would kind of keep the characters on edge and make the development of the investigation a lot more compelling.
Yeah, I feel like anytime you do that in a film, it takes the wind out of the film's sails a little bit. I'm thinking of a film like think about of a police procedural slash crime film that maybe takes place over the course of a while, maybe like the Zodiac movie, where like the passage of time it is quite a long time, but it kind of each part of that film kind of lends itself to the other. It kind of makes sense. And even in a film like that, I felt like if you went 8 years later, I'd go, "What have you been doing all this time? Why ain't you found the Zodiac killer for God's sake?" And I kind of felt the same. I felt like 8 years later,
Yeah.
it felt a little bit like, well, that's it then, isn't it? But I guess
Yeah.
obviously I'd
It,
seen the trailer, so
it's almost like every feeling that you or any momentum the film's just built, it's like, well, the characters are obviously not going to hold that within them in 8 years later. So as an
no,
audience member, you're like, well, all of that doesn't matter now because it's like all of
yeah.
what you just felt, it's like that's got to be gone because now it's like a reset. It's like
And
a
it's a weird one, Nick, because I guess you'd you'd assume that the family would be had come to terms with the fact that perhaps she was dead. And again, is that explored very much? I don't know if it
Turns
is.
out they've got another daughter now, which is exactly the age. So they're back to the status quo, to be honest.
I kept
and they
thinking
got the
this.
bed. I mean, because they got the bedding and all that stuff, they've maintained that. So it's like, is that their way of
Yeah.
like acknowledging that she's dead and they're just keeping that room as
I think it's
Or
quite
even
Do they
her
common.
believe
nan's
she's
house
out
as
there?
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it obviously shows that we do learn from this that it kind of stifled his career at this point, right? Because he has been just on the day that his daughter was kidnapped, he was offered like
Mm.
a big job in New York, and now he is here in New Mexico, not even in front of the camera. He is like a
Mm.
back end producer um of like a local news network's show, right? So obviously
Yeah.
it's had an impact on their lives, but it kind of feels for me a bit hand wavy. We didn't get well, we stayed in Egypt for another year and I turned down that job and, you know,
Mm.
I had to turn down this job and I had to do this and that and the other. And eventually we've come back because, like, give me that discussion where they had to give up hope and just assume we had to face the fact that she is dead. Separate them, do something. So, like, you know, that doesn't just feel like we've just dismissed this because we need to age her up by a certain number of years.
Yeah. Yeah. How many people would you reckon? Not me, of course. I'm not saying it was me, but it definitely crossed my mind. How many people would go, "Oh, she's back," when that girl, when the little sister turns up?
Oh yeah, she's fine. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's fine. Oh, well, there she
Well, they
is.
did find her, and it was just a misunderstanding. She went to Layla's house.
Yeah, yeah, lovely happy ending for everybody involved. Um, so yeah, quite quickly it kind of it moves quite quickly, doesn't it? So back in Aswan in Egypt, a teenager witnesses a plane crash which kills the two pilots. One guy ends up with a stick through his head. And then he finds the sarcophagus. The sarcophagus being stood up like that was quite a good visual. I thought it was very like 2001.
Yeah, good. I
Um,
like this bit. Just big. It had the sort of non sequitur nature of like the monkey to it almost as well. You imagine that you've just been cursed. A sarcophagus falls out of a plane, squashes you flat.
yeah, gutted. Um, and so basically, yeah, archaeologists find a mummified but alive Katie inside, wrapped in parchment that has ancient inscriptions on it. It's not hieroglyphics or anything. It's even earlier than that. Before old Jesus was knocking about, before JC was doing anything, this inscription existed. She's in a catatonic state. They say she's like in locked in mode because they're keeping her on sedatives as well to keep her from self harming.
I feel that man
Uh,
wasn't a doctor. Explained it to her.
Yeah.
yeah, I think she's locked in.
He was
She's in
just
there.
he was just that guy. He was just the guy that was on that day. Shit, these Americans have come in to pick their kid up. Oh, I don't want to talk to him. I'm done.
So
Send Dave out. All right.
no loud noises or anything like that. Um, so yeah, we see the moment, and this was in the trailer as well, wasn't it? The moment that they find out that Katie is alive, and they both like sort of collapse, and yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Because I feel like it definitely brings up a lot of stuff that they could have really delved into. You know, I feel like when this happens in real life, when couples, when someone goes missing, and then turns back, it doesn't happen very often, I know, but when that does happen, there's so many really interesting things you can explore. A lot of times these couples or parents have already gone through the grieving process. So somebody turning back up, like I felt, like the way they were immediately like hugging her and sort of like, I feel like you'd be a bit more standoffish. I feel like they could have really explored that.
Especially when she looks the way she looks, because she's not looking like a normal girl either.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's
that's the
like
thing. You'd be like,
they're so welcoming to just like given how she looks. It's like
yeah,
you'd be more shocked than that. More, do I touch her? Do I want to?
because
I
even if
think
someone
they
turned up in the
in that
future,
scene because I think that's when he first starts to use the split diopter shots. And I think they're used well in that scene because
mm,
it's like part of her body and then Jack Raynor's reaction all in the same frame. And
yeah,
he's really good at doing he does it in Midsummer, like just
yeah,
the
yeah,
blank stare with the eyes like paralyzed in fear.
yeah. It's just like fuck no.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
like when
pretty
you're
much
watching
what it
that
is, isn't
telly
it?
later on as well, he stands there for
Yeah.
ages.
I'm bloody dressed as a bear and I'm on fire. This
Yeah,
is not
yeah.
This is not how I expected this trip to go. Yeah, because they were immediately. I think the split diopter shot is good. It kind of shows that kind of like barrier between, I think it's really good in Evil Dead, Rise, where it kind of like shows it's like this weird otherworldly like barrier between people, isn't it? Um, it's interesting, but yeah, in this it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I felt like someone at Warner Brothers, whoever made it, have literally gone, I love that shot. Can you do it all the time? And
Yeah, it's like I love split diopter shots, and I'm always excited seeing a new one. And like by the end of this film, I was like, I'm fed up of seeing. It almost became like a running gag every time you saw one. It was like, oh, you're using it again. And I can't remember what it was, but there was a few examples where it was being used. It's like you really didn't need to use it to
no.
show that. It was like I don't know if it was something on the floor or something like that, and
Yeah.
it wasn't even something significant. And it's like you're just
No.
using it for fun now.
Was it when her sick had stripped
Yeah,
stripped the wood?
Oh
yeah. It's
God,
just like
Jesus. To be fair, like when you say about that, like there were a few actually proper gross out moments, and I feel like in a lot of modern horror, when the reviews are, "Oh, it's gross, it's gonna make you vomit," all that stuff, usually it's not. But I feel like there were a few kind of
It
yucky
really
moments in
did.
this.
It goes into being disgusting in this one, but the thing that I struggle to forgive most of all is that, bearing in mind, it is a matter of public record that they found this girl in a sarcophagus that fell out of a plane, and now they're bringing her to hospital from Egypt, of all places. No one says, "Why is my daughter a fucking mummy? Why's she a
all these
mummy?"
investigations, and they never kind of come to that crossroad at any point.
Yeah, they just go, "Gosh, she's got a bit of eczema. Her skin's a little bit rough."
Have you put any moisturizer on her, or like cut these nails down? Like before I take her home, bearing in mind currently she's the victim of a crime, and there'll be some sort of coverage, you'd hope, before I go back to, of all places, America, where I'll be financially ruined by the ongoing care she requires.
Oh God,
Um,
yeah.
could we could we get all these bandages off her?
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. Are we supposed to believe that those bandages had like become one with her skin in a way? Yeah.
I think.
Maybe.
Because it
Yeah.
did seem like it was like they were peeling skin off,
Mm.
or it seemed to give that impression.
Yeah.
But that the man who they speak to, whether or not he's a doctor, will never be confirmed, says best thing for her, couple of weeks at home and she'll be right as
She'll be
rain.
right as rain. Couple of weeks at home, a couple of Lemsips. She'll be she'll be good to go in a few weeks. So they take Katie back to the US. They take her back to Albuquerque. They settle her into her old bedroom. They pretty much refuse to seek further medical help. So again, I feel like her mum, Larissa, is keen to take responsibility for the care, I guess, and her mum as well. And again, that might be a cultural thing as well, like in terms of sometimes families like to be quite self-sufficient
And thankfully you
that
just
way.
inform the authorities. Yep, the daughter I reported missing. She's back, everything's fine. The police would go, well, case closed then.
Case closed. Less paperwork for me.
No need to check in on that at all or offer you any kind of support.
Yeah, that's true.
They welcomed her back. Oh, you've been out for the country for a while. Welcome back to America.
Welcome back to America. Yeah, the only policeman woman who wants to help comes all the way there as well. That's pretty mad.
Who gets there in a day?
Gets there in a day. Yeah. So yeah, Katie is obviously she didn't say anything yet. Does she? She's like she's mute. Her behavior is very erratic and unpredictable. Delivers a swift headbutt to the grandmother quite quickly.
Yeah. Nuts the nan for doing prayers on her.
Nuts and Nan for doing prayer. And again, like that was very Exorcist, wasn't it? Like the response to the prayers, and even like the way she, like, I'm not a filmmaker, but I feel like if I'd shot that scene, I'd go, I can't keep that in the film because that is so Exorcist. The way she like bends back, she's almost floating, isn't she?
Yeah.
It's almost
That's
like
I think that's the part of the film where it was slowly starting to lose me a little, I think, because that's where all the Exorcist kind of adjacent stuff
Mm.
starts happening. And then I was like, I
Mm.
was hoping it kind of like swerved out of that quite quickly and then start to
Yeah.
do its own thing a bit more.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, I did keep thinking it was getting quite far into the film where I was thinking, how are they gonna stop this happening? You know what I mean? Like, obviously with the Exorcist, you're like, okay, an exorcism. You know, with the Evil Dead, it's usually just
Well,
escape
it's got
or
to be tougher. Like, obviously, if you're an Egypt demon
yeah.
from all the, that'd be like me, Ben, listening to S Club Juniors and going, "What's this new stuff? This isn't the old classics." No, yeah. You start singing Sundown at me. That is a lie. Sundown is an all timer. But you start throwing out some newfangled stuff, you get
Yeah.
headbutted.
Yeah, you get headbutted straight in the face.
Get this new rubbish
I'll
off.
tell you what, the
Jeez.
grandmother, bless her, goes for a lot in this film. Never seems to complain. Always seems really
Mhm.
positive. She's like, "Oh, we'll color her hair. We'll do this.
You're
We'll do
living in
that.
my house
You're living in my house." I certainly hope I don't get my entrails ripped out by coyotes.
after I
Jesus.
get wansed out of a window by the mummy slash Jedi
But again, was that
Mace Windu.
again? Wasn't that was kind of like the Omen-ish? I guess the
Yeah.
Omen because of
Yeah.
animals and windows. So it is like a greatest hits of sort of horror in a way, but when you've seen it all
Nuts the
before.
mum, and then I think the parents have also ill prepared their other children because again,
Oh God,
have a
yeah.
conversation with your kids saying, right, you're going to meet your sister, you little girl for the first time ever, you little boy since the first time since you were a tiny kid, and it was definitely at least partially your fault that she got kidnapped. Don't dwell on that though. Um, she is a gross mummy now, so just prepare yourself for that.
Oh,
Like you cannot. I don't think you can cover it by saying she's a little bit poorly. So, like she is, she is completely incapable of communication and does quite a lot of scary things and
mm,
looks like she's lived in a coffin for 8 years.
yeah. She's desiccated, you would say, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Uh, so obviously so the kids like to go back to school, but are told to not tell anyone that their sister's back. Obviously, then we do get that bit with the when they're trying to wash her hair and cut her toenails and stuff.
I think
Um,
this is worth commentary. This is probably the most uncomfortable I was in this film. Right when they're trying to cut her nails, and then
yeah,
it's
trying to
always the
cut.
big toe, isn't it? It gets a bit thick.
Oh, oh God. Oh, that's beyond a bit thick though. It's as thick as a bloody as a bird's eye potato waffle, mate. It's so you
And
can
it's
just
as
see it like
powerful as if it's
coming
still
loose.
frozen.
Oh, you could just see it coming loose like that. Like that is it is effective. Um,
You'd have filed it down, wouldn't you? You're gonna, this isn't gonna work.
I kept thinking that you'd file it down. I feel like you need a bloody pair of bolt cutters for for
Yeah.
that bad boy.
Send her for a walk on the beach.
Yeah, but that moment of like cutting, of like obviously ripping it off, but taking a whole all the skin all the way up
Up
to
to
her
the
knee.
knee.
Oh, it's brutal. But again, are we supposed to think that that is skin, or is that like the bandages? I mean, it's
I
skin,
feel
right?
like that was definitely skin, I think.
Yeah,
But then I still feel like the bandages felt like it was supposed to be skin as well.
yeah. Because even the bit where she was ripping them all off later on, I expected her to be like some Hellraiser shit,
Yeah.
like
A
complete.
big red skeleton.
But she looked kind of the same. I was like, oh, right.
And this is random, but in that bathroom, it just reminded me of Evil Dead Rise. Again,
It's
the
the same
baths look
bathroom, isn't
very
it?
similar.
It's
I thought
yeah,
that they used the exact same thing because the layout looked the same. And like as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's Evil Dead Rise.
yeah.
It just
The
came to
layout,
mind.
the lighting, those kind of like off green like tiles.
Tiles, yeah.
It felt like the same room. I thought that as well. Um, what happened? What happens? And how does
Well,
she end up like sawing at her leg as well? A little bit.
that's a bit later where she does some soaring because I think that might be the second night they do that. The first night that they get home after she's been quite non-responsive, the youngest daughter, the new daughter, is she ends up going in to stay in her brother's room because she hears noises
Yeah,
because the coyotes are howling outside. And the next time, that's when the mummy sister is up and in the enormous, literally cavernous
Oh yeah.
um wall cavities that go. There's basically there's
People
like
under the stairs.
there's like a
Like
whole
another house.
house that you can.
Yeah.
You have to duck down to get into the doors, but then you can stand at full height and just walk around.
The little um door between the brother's room and her room as well.
Yeah.
Um,
And she's just
convenient.
sprinting about there eating scorpions, right?
Oh yeah, eating the scorpion.
And the mum and dad get her back. They bolt her in there. The other kids get further alarmed because they see her wrestling out and she's just vomiting all over the floor
Oh
in
yeah.
a method that will help her escape later on because that'll strip anything.
Oh, it's some horrible vomit as well, like some serious vomit. Reminds me of when I used to drink too much Guinness and it used to come up like
Yeah.
just like the horrible frothy. Oh no.
Yeah, she's still it bangs all over the floor. Bang, and
Oh.
the floor is gone.
And it's pretty much like melting through the floor, like for
Yeah.
the duration of the film, isn't it? Obviously, the dad spots it at
The
one
dad's there
point.
poking at it, like, wipe it up, cunt. Come on.
Oh, it is horrible though. I
He's
feel
like,
like,
that's not my job,
to be
actually. The
fair,
housework is not down to
that's a
me.
job where if I lifted up the rug and saw that, I'd put the rug back down and go, "Well, I didn't discover it, so keep it there."
Oh, just pretend that you didn't. Oh, and then when your house has rotted through to the core, go, should have lifted the carpet up, didn't I? Didn't check
Yeah.
that.
I'll
Well,
tell
that's
you
on
what.
me.
Okay, sorry, I do keep jumping around in that. Has there been a more like what the fuck, holy shit, it's just getting worse funeral scene? Because I feel like there has, and I feel like racking my brains.
Yeah, I can't think of what, but I think that's probably my favorite scene of the film. Although I
Yeah.
wanted it to be longer because I felt like as it was getting to like its peak, it ended, and I was like, oh no, you stopped it too soon. Because I
Yeah.
thought more stuff would, and also I felt like the reaction of, I think there's a lot of moments in this film where the reaction of certain characters just doesn't add up. And I think the funeral scene is one, because what are all the guests doing when that happens?
No-
They all move to another room, and then
Yeah.
so they just all ignored what happened and gone home like
There's like
everything's
two
fine.
people who seem to react, aren't there? Like two older
Yeah.
women, and that's
The
it.
old ladies probably
Who are
finish off
eating
the
the
egg vol au
food that
vents and go
had
home.
would what sprays onto the food that they eat? I can't remember what it
Just
was.
blood. They
Oh,
Just
it's
start
blood,
just
yeah.
ripping the
blood from
teeth out.
the teeth, yeah, and onto the deviled eggs, yeah. But
But
I
I
felt,
love the visual of, and I like that it did, the film did kind of build to it with the grandma's teeth and
Yeah,
the little girl putting
yeah,
those in and the grin. I really did love that visual
that was
of
great. I like this, and the grandma, and like they have a nice family. In the build up, like the son before the daughter came back was never. Why can't I go on holiday to Europe just in case I get turned into a bloody mummy as well?
I think the funeral scene I'm thinking of might be from a scary movie. I feel like it's the one that spoofs The Ring.
When you said it, Ben, my
can't remember.
immediate thought was Drag Me to Hell,
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
where she
What?
ends up like
Oh yes, because
at
she's
the
fallen
funeral
and
and
all the
she goes
gunk
to,
just
You're
come out
right.
her
yeah,
mouth.
You're right.
it all goes in her mouth.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I jumped a bit ahead there. How do you
Okay.
guys feel about the coyotes thing as well? Like the coyotes being involved and them being
I
a
think again I think you're when you said Omen, I think that's, I never thought of it, but that is what I think springs to like is the
yeah,
link, is like it feels very Omen-esque having like the coyotes or like a dog, like just
yeah,
ominously like the thing where like the animals know, they can sense the
yeah,
evil, they're
yeah, yeah.
aware. And
Do you think that the animals knew, or do you think like do they work with the mummy because they're
no, that's a good point.
classically villainous
Oh yeah,
animals?
true, because of what they do to the grandma, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're like
potentially.
we're on side. There's a great dog. Well, there's a horrible dog bit and a great dog bit in Tale of the Mummy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bit that's not mean to dogs, so minus the stuff of that. But there's a bit with another dog later, and it's like,
Hmm.
you crafty old mummy, you bloody pulled it off. Um,
So
so
when does Charlie notice the inscriptions on Katie's bandages? Does he
I think
just?
that's after the bit with the leg where she has the
Oh, he picks up
terrible,
the bit of skin, doesn't he? He picks
yeah,
up the
yeah, and
never-ending
he's already had
layers.
some cross words with his wife at this point, hasn't he? Because he's already had the bit where, for no reason, while his wife is dealing with the trauma of looking after an incredibly, like, inexplicably sick child that no one wants to say she's a bloody mummy, he goes, "You think it's bloody my fault, isn't it? Well, how about actually if it was your fault?" And then she goes, "Fuck you, mate. Listen, you're the actor that was the worst boyfriend in cinema history."
And she basically says, "You're just trying to find a news story to reignite your career as a journalist." And he goes, "Just because you said that, I'm going to try even harder to find this news story."
Yeah,
And is that the point where he then contacts the professor? I think that's the
Yeah.
point.
yeah.
So he
And
looks.
also, I heard something about the professor yesterday, which I'm not a fan of this, but apparently Lee Cronin is secretly himself said that he's tied this film to the Evil Dead
I
franchise.
did hear that. Yeah, I heard it.
And I think it's true that Professor has the same surname as the lead character in Evil Dead Rise. So I guess that's
Okay.
the
Okay.
link.
Okay.
But it seems like a forced link, like just a little Easter egg, which
Yeah.
because I think isn't it separate studios? So I don't think they could literally say, "Oh, well, this is linked to
Yeah.
that."
Okay.
It's just
But
a little wink, right?
Is he
And I
yeah,
saying
guess
just?
it depends what the surname is. If it's not like the most common or the most rare, sorry, in the world.
Is it almost like we're supposed to believe? If this mummy demon exists, then so do Deadites somewhere
yeah, type thing. Yeah.
elsewhere. Yeah, that's all right. Why not? It's not going to cross over. So, um, yeah. So he goes to the. Is it easy enough to go into a? Oh, it's a community college. Okay. Well, maybe it's a bit easier.
I did think
Community
that when that
college.
scene started, I was like, "How is he in there?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
just get
yeah.
in there.
I mean, that was my second problem with that scene. The first one is like anyone who connects these things, and someone goes, "They're all dead." I was like, "You're paying thousands to be here, mate. If
Yeah.
this is
It
university."
reminded me of Mark Cargan in Peep Show going to university. Do you remember, do you remember that? Where he just like ends up in a class and just like at the professor's house in Dartmouth University. That's right, isn't
Where he gets, oh, blue nun.
it? Yeah. Peter Capaldi in that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he basically gets his archaeology professor to have a little look, and he says these transcriptions are proper ancient. They are.
Can you translate? And he goes, obviously yes,
Yeah, and for free. Um,
and without you giving me any more
yeah.
information, just tell him. Like you
So
need allies here. Just say, my daughter's been turned into a mummy. Can you give us a hand?
the demon's called Nazmaranian. Do I know anything about this? Is this like an actual thing? I don't think so. Now I've Googled it. It's only the film that
I
seems to
don't
come up.
think Nazmaranian is
Made up.
not a blue link on
No.
Wikipedia.
So it's made up. Again, which is fine, but there's such a wealth of Egyptian, mythology and ancient Egypt stuff that they could have just lent into. It could have been so many different things. So just making up a demon whose end goal seems to be the same as like a deadite, essentially, isn't it? It's not like
This is particularly a demon that likes slagging off families, right? It
yeah,
takes, if you're having a really happy family, which I guess they were pretty happy before the daughter got kidnapped, the loss
yeah,
of a child will probably do their work for you.
yeah.
Um,
The destroyer of families and communities, which is kept at bay for a ritual mummification that binds the entity using script-laced wrappings embedded in skin.
and
No, I guess that
that
answers our question then. So it's not skin, it's just they do class that as the
Oh yeah,
wrappings
you're
with
right.
the
Okay, yeah, there we go. So it's almost like when they're putting the wrappings on her earlier, it looked wet. So I
yeah.
don't know if it's like one of those things where like it's wet, they've put it on her body, then they've mummified her, and then it's like as her body, well, she's not decomposing, but
It's like it's become a one with her skin
yeah,
type
yeah,
thing, and it's like feels like it's attached.
it's
okay.
been paper
It's,
mache, haven't they?
yeah,
They've dipped it all in
basically.
PVA glue.
PVA glue. Get a PVA. Get yourself down to Staples. Get a PVA glue. Ran out. Um, so the more wait a minute. The more the scripture is removed, the more powerful the demon becomes. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so basically,
Yeah, yeah.
by unwrapping her, because I guess she would have just stayed inert in the thing if the investigators hadn't have taken some of the bandages off. So by getting all the bandages off, full power.
So obviously the body is the demon's like feeding on a body, or they say an innocent child is best because it lasts longer. But what would happen at the end of it? It would consume that body and then be able to get out. Is that what we're
I
saying?
guess it needs a new one, a bit like in the cold open, right? It would wake up again and start moving around,
But
so
what
they'd have
happens if
to
you don't
stick a
give it a
new
new
one.
one?
I
It
guess their
just
family
gets
would be
up.
cast. Yeah.
It just gets up and walks around. I reckon
Just
it was
I think
doing
that's
that.
what kind of made the film not work in a way. Is like, I think some key elements like that are just not clear. Like you don't really know what
Yeah,
the the motive or the end goal of the demon is, or what would happen if this, what's the worst case scenario at
yeah,
the end of the line if we don't stop this from happening.
yeah.
Right?
Well, that's
Good
always the
point.
thing, isn't it? When you think of the mummy as a creature in the first place, like, what does a vampire do if it catches you? It sucks your blood, you turn into a vampire, you be eaten. What does the wolfman do? Bites you, you turn into a vampire, or a werewolf, or it eats you. What does a zombie do? It bites you, you die, or you turn into a zombie. What happens if the mummy gets you? Beat the shit out of you? Like,
Well, I guess Imhotep like steals one of your organs, right?
until he's back, and then he wants to be the king of Egypt because he's a big rival of the pharaoh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Be the king
basically,
of Egypt then. Be the king of Egypt. Go on.
just have your girlfriend back to life and
Yeah.
get on with it.
Yeah, it's almost like they go, well, what's the worst case scenario? They go, oh, we don't know. Well, we don't want to know. And then it's like, well, just let it happen then, because otherwise you're punishing innocent people, and this has been going on for ages. Your family must be sick of it.
Yeah. You might lose your nectarine farm. Arguably less bad than this.
Yeah. Or just leave the demon in there, like eating her body, and then just move away.
Yeah.
That's
Walk
it.
into the sea like Brahms's parents and be done with it. Um, yeah, so it's continuing to progress. The first thing that happens, I think, actually does no, it happens with the little girl first. So the younger daughter, the new daughter, is nipping up for a glass of water, running across the road, and then she hears a voice going, "Hey, it's me. I can talk now. Actually, it's me, your sister. I'm locked in here. Yeah, I can talk now, but I want to talk to you first. Got loads of questions to ask you. Oh yeah, what questions? What your little lovely toes taste like? Stick
Oh
me tongue
yeah.
under the door.
Again, I mean that's so Evil Dead, isn't it? That's like that's just Evil Dead 101, isn't it? So I was a bit.
Get your toes licked.
So so as
I,
soon as she licked the toes, sorry, what was that?
yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I think I checked my watch a few times when I was watching this film, and I can't remember the specific moments at the point. So I think 50 minutes was the first time I checked my watch, and I think I was into the film at that point still, around
Yeah.
15 minutes. But I think it was starting to lose me. And I remember there was a point where I checked my watch again, and because I knew the film was 2 hours 15, I think I had 45 minutes left. And I was
Yeah.
thinking, what on earth is going to be happening for the next 45 minutes for this film to be going on for that long? Because I
Yeah.
felt like we had already got through quite a lot of that, the investigation part, and then this demon part like happening. And I was just thinking, where are we going with this?
Two hours 15 is quite a lot for a film like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
I felt the same. I kept thinking, how are they gonna wrap this up or like sort it out? So I couldn't foresee what they were gonna do, and I guess like what actually did happen didn't necessarily satisfy me. But yeah, similar to you, I just kept thinking like, where's this?
Which of the endings are you after? I mean, we'll get to it. Like the
Oh yeah, there was like Lord of the Rings endings, wasn't
yeah,
there?
so yeah, more endings than Frodo. But like so she's able to just telekinetically pick up her sister, bring her back to the door, and possess her. She's like whispering magic words in her ear
Mm. And I
to
guess it's all linked to the fact she had a
make you
wobbly
bad.
tooth. Wobbly tooth early in the film, and like there's a lot of tooth-based
Yeah, a lot of
body
tooth-based
horror.
trauma. But she's
I'm
whispering
glad
to her sisters, turn her evil.
I'm glad I got to find out why the hell that little girl had like big old chompers in her mouth, because that was one of the images that was shared quite early on of the girl, and I was like, I don't understand what's going on there. Turkey teeth?
It's an episode of The Simpsons when
Yep.
Bart puts the granddad's tooth
Oh
in his
yeah.
mouth.
Yeah, yeah,
He's like biting the records and stuff.
yeah. So I'm glad I got the context, even though it's kind of ridiculous. Um,
Yeah.
so when does Charlie realize that Katie's communicating via Morse code? That's pretty soon, isn't it?
Well, that is right now, actually. Before their other daughter gets possessed, she does Morse code and it tells her the name Layla. So then he is downstairs going through every bit of correspondence they've ever received
Oh yeah.
since their daughter went missing to see if a single one of them came from Layla, which is why he's too busy to save his daughter from being possessed upstairs.
Whole bloody massive trunk full of
Yeah.
mail.
even though the lights are flickering and loads of stuff is going on and there's noise,
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh, I've only got a few left to check. Come on."
yeah. And then
And
he
he phones the
finds.
detective and says, Layla. He gets the name Layla from the Morse code, but then he finds a last name that allows
Yeah, that's right.
the detective, now working the case alone, because time has passed and the other guy has died, to get on the
Yeah.
case.
There's quite a lot of interesting things on this letter. Like there's a little butterfly sticker, and he obviously called the girl Butterfly. Even
The
like the
chocolate bar they had, Tut's
chocolate
nuts.
bar on the front of the bloody. If he opened that before, you go, "What? This is weird. I should get it to the police." But he didn't have a look at any of them, so um, that's where he failed. But yeah, he gets the full name, gives it to the police officer, and this is where we get the stuff in Egypt, like the police procedural stuff, which I think is kind of interesting. I felt like maybe I
I
wanted
mean,
more of this. I don't know how you guys feel
is
about that.
this? I need, I need to do some more research, Ben. Is this harsh on Egypt because it shows the Egyptian detective working on like a big, not even a CRT monitor, like a green 1980s
Oh God, yeah.
like
And
computer monitor.
do you remember the bit early on when it shows her answering a call and she says something about, "Oh no, we're not coming to arrest a monkey"?
Yeah,
Is
it's like,
that
oh,
bit?
Just see.
not coming to, not coming to arrest a monkey. I also looked it up based on the technology, just so everyone here knows. DVD technology commercially available in Egypt as of 1998.
Oh right, okay.
VHS not still the standard format.
All I was saying about the arresting the monkey bit was a bit like, is that a bit
Yeah, a bit
in poor?
dated.
Is that a bit dated? Is that a bit in poor taste? Is that like a joke from the Aladdin animated
Yeah.
animated film? Abu just like knocking about. Just he was a big shoplifter. Oh
But yeah,
God.
those police sections I found it kind of interesting, but I also found like it was like a big because of the way the film's structured, it felt like a big detour that just kind of just suddenly, oh, now we're doing this for ages.
Yeah.
Or it felt like ages. But then I did find it kind of satisfying when I started to realize the link between I don't know if it was in that scene or if it happened earlier, when I started to notice the link between that other family and like
Yeah,
when you realize the one with no tongue is the daughter.
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought, oh, that's quite a satisfying kind of surprise, I guess, in terms of the
Yeah.
mystery. It's like I didn't suspect that was what that was and
From the
how
two
they were
lads that
then
died
tied
in the
into it.
plane with
Yeah,
the brothers, right? From the
It's a
beginning.
yeah.
good it's a good well-paced mystery that I think because of this film, even though it is 2 hours long, has to unravel, pardon the pun, quicker. Like if imagine that in a TV show over the course of like maybe 3 episodes, like that was that would be pretty satisfying, I think. But obviously because of this film, they need to get to it quite quickly. So
And she's pretty great in this, the lead, the detective, not only because she solves it in like the first place. What's that? Nectarine farm. Right, let's go and look at this.
hmm.
And, she just like, is this, you mentioned Zodiac. We have get that scene where, she goes down into the basement and she finds it. And then when she comes back up, she's confronted by the mother, the
Hmm.
magician.
I've just realized who she is. I was thinking who she is. Do you recognize the police officer? What she's from?
Yeah, she's
I
from Moon
recognize her
Knight.
name,
She's
but
from Moon Knight. Yeah, she's
that was it. Right.
yeah. There we go.
Yeah. She's the Egyptian character in that as well. That was their first
Her name was Layla in Moon Knight.
synergy. Corporate synergy there.
Uh, yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you. So she shoots the mum, didn't she?
Yeah,
She
shoots the
comes
mum,
at her.
catches the daughter, and the daughter digs out a VHS tape from the ground,
I really
which
didn't
is
think it was going to be that. I thought it was going
essentially.
to be a little scarab.
Oh yeah, I thought it was going to be that was a
Yeah.
baddie. Yeah,
I thought she was going to open the box and one of those little scarabs was going to come out and get her. But no, it's a VHS tape with Katie's name on it. And she goes back to the precinct and watches it. And we don't watch it
yeah.
along with her. She kind of like just goes and reacts to the.
Then phones the family and says, "Sorry, I've tried you once on the phone, couldn't get you, so I will have to come to you.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
I'm on the way."
Yeah, and
Meanwhile, the daughter, having been possessed, is rude to a teacher, calls her a rat-faced cunt.
Yeah, and that was the woman from The Evil Dead, right?
Yeah.
She does a little mucus bubble out of her nose.
Yeah.
Was that her being
Very
cursed
random.
at some point, or was she just very surprised?
What was that?
For a second, I was like, "Is that? Can she cut?" I was now thinking, can the little girl
Oh,
then curse people
you
to?
thought that
But
was a
no, she just
curse.
gets very surprised, I guess.
Yeah, it was. I guess I don't know. It was funny. I find it funny. Yeah.
I mean,
I
arguably though, she calls her a rat face because they were playing a game earlier on, saying, "Is
who
she a
you rat
rat
or a
or a
frog? Yeah.
frog?" I think if you do big green bubbles, you're more frog.
Yeah, definitely. She's saying it in the car as well on the way home, and she gives her brother the finger.
Yeah,
Being possessed turns you into a right bastard.
rude. She's the Dennis the Menace of a new generation.
Yeah. Um. So around about this time, Katie sheds more of a binding. She's taking control of her siblings' minds further and further. And this is obviously what happens with Carmen, the grandmother.
Well,
How does
just before
she?
they get home, right? So they're coming home from the school. They're
Yeah.
just rocking up outside, and the grandma is at home looking after.
Is she praying for her again?
Yeah, it's doing some more prayers. That went so well last time. She thought, give it another go. Get a
Yeah.
dose of the Lord up, yeah. Um,
Chokes her with the necklace.
yeah, chokes with the necklace, and then bashes her out the window.
Well, does like a little blow
Yeah,
out the window, doesn't she? I don't know. That's kind
no,
of
it's
cool.
good. This is a great scene. Like she's properly like, and the bit, it's quite, it's quite cinematic. There's a bit where like she like knocks her over and she's crawling, and then she whispers, and the sound comes into her. I'm behind you, and then she isn't. She's behind her. So when she turns around, then she's behind her,
Oh yeah,
and then she basically force chokes her and blasts her out the window.
yeah, yeah. And then she lands on. There's loads to unpack.
It's so
Lands on
good.
the windscreen. The little girl is laughing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because she's obviously bad
it's a
now as
laugh.
well.
She's
She
bad.
thinks it's the right laugh. And then we see the grandma sort of slide off and is like, are you just comically sliding off the windscreen? No, she's being eaten by coyotes. And just as the mother steps back into the room and gets to look down and see, we get like a proper over the top shot,
Mm.
top down of her being absolutely minced by coyotes.
Absolutely minced.
Mullered.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. You're pretty effective. You think of that, Terrell? That was alright, wasn't
Yeah, it was kind of like that's where it kind of tapped into its Evil Dead stuff, but where it does it in a playful way, so at least you get kind of the playfulness out of the violence.
it? Mm.
And I
Close up
think,
on her face as well was pretty brutal. I
yeah,
thought. Just the agony.
I do think though, and it depends what kind of tone you think the film is hitting, because I do think like these moments happen, and then it's like the next scene, they're not, from what I remember, it's that there's not like some sort of emotional,
Mm.
or they don't sit in these moments. Like your grandma just got mauled to death, and it's like the film moves on and the characters move on, and it almost feels like they're not
Yeah.
processing what just happened
Yeah.
as a family.
Well,
There's
it's
so
like
much happening that there's no way they're fast tracking a funeral. Is there?
Yeah.
yeah,
You
and not and
And
if you
having
are
it in
fast
the
tracking a
house
funeral,
with the demon daughter.
yeah, yeah.
you're not having everyone around with you've got your scary mummy daughter upstairs. Your other daughter, if you don't believe it's mummy magic, has had a psychotic episode.
Yeah.
Um,
Where are you gonna put the open casket for the funeral? Straight under that horrible mucky that horrible.
oh yeah, where the ceiling's starting to burn through.
Yeah.
And this is a mad scene. I feel like if we'd gone for this darker comedic sense, the things we get from Evil Dead, which can be overtly try to be a little bit funny and playful, whereas the tone of this is primarily pretty serious, right? But
Yeah.
we don't. But we move at these things. That's why I think this film could have done a lot for me if they had just accepted our daughter's a mummy. At this point, they could have said the guy at the beginning could have, yeah, she's been partially mummified. We don't get it, but she's physically fine. So do you want to take her home? And then they could have been having these conversations where they're going like, she's a mummy, and now she's sent her other kid. Right,
Bloody
Beswick.
mummy over it.
So what are we gonna do? And then we just get the maddest scene
Yeah,
in the
just
film,
just
maybe.
a,
Bearing in
again.
mind a woman has just been mauled by coyotes.
Yeah, it's pretty mad. We get the kid pulling all of her teeth out. spitting
In
blood all
full
it
view of everybody at a
in full view
funeral.
of yeah, no one's paying attention here. Um, she goes and takes her grandmother's dentures out and puts them into her mouth, goes up to her parents and smiles. Yeah.
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 All while the mummified daughter is crawling through this horrible, like acidic puddle.
Yeah, she's basically weakened the floor enough now, knowing that her useless dad wouldn't mop it up. So now she can dig through the thing, and then while she is distracted the parents by getting the grandma's teeth in, the the mummy daughter can crawl through the ceiling and like Regan away across the roof and go and have a slurp of the embalming fluid out of her.
Yeah, that's what she's doing, right? Just slurping the embalming fluid out.
I guess mummies like the taste of embalming fluid. They think it's delicious.
It still doesn't really make sense, does it? Like,
Yeah. Oh, and meanwhile, she sent the other kid upstairs mad because he was outside the door for a minute and she goes in his headphones. She Bluetooths. She's taken off the bandage to get Bluetooth now. And she can Bluetooth straight to his trash cans and say, Oi, sort of your fault there. Yeah, like,
yeah.
I'm a mummy now. I'm all up in your head as well. Tell you what,
Oh.
while I scare everyone downstairs, do you want to go quietly mad and bash your head against the bedpost? All right.
And then become like a kind of Jack Torrance, but also kind of Joaquin Phoenix in Signs, swinging a baseball bat around, trying to kill your mum
Yeah.
a bit later. And
Yeah.
again, yeah, you're right, Terrell. What you said about like there's these mad things happen. Grandmother dies, eaten by coyotes. Next scene, it's a funeral. All of that stuff happens, and I feel like it chills out quite quickly. Apart from
Yeah.
when the grandmother comes to life downstairs, and
Everyone leaves the funeral.
yeah, someone does a horrible vomit into a glass, which I didn't enjoy.
Oh, I
That
know.
lady, it didn't make
She's been
it.
eating all those egg
I
canapes,
didn't
hasn't
like
she?
it. It did make me feel sick. It was
That
lumpy.
seems like it's disturbed you the most out of the whole
Yeah,
film.
no, it did. It did. It was. I think that out of everything, like vomit, especially when it looks a bit real, is when I go, oh no, 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 no. The projectile green shit is fine.
But something that looks like you just chewed up some of those eggs and
No,
you gobbed them back
even
into
you
a.
talking about it now is making me feel a bit weird.
I
Uh,
won't say any more.
when does the grandmother like come to life and
I
like
think it's straight after, isn't it? Like
Straight
I feel
after,
like the
because it's
film accelerates to the end from that point
yeah,
is it when
because it's like the
Dahlia
final
turns?
sequence.
Is it
yeah.
when
So
Dahlia turns up?
yeah, so this is the evening of the funeral. They're all
Mm.
just sitting there going, "That was that was a disaster."
That was hard work.
Oh, bloody hell! I can't be asked to cook tonight. What should we have? But like that, so that's happening. Dahlia turns up. She goes, "Answer your phone."
Was
What's
that it?
this?
She actually did try and get hold of him.
Yeah, she came straight away. Thankfully, they do have a VCR in the house, so
Oh yeah, they love physical media.
yeah.
They've been collecting it for years. I imagine like maybe the nan would have had one.
You can imagine if your nan backed Betamax. We can't play this.
Oh, gutted.
I'll have to get one of those converter tapes. But yeah, they put the video on, and we see the ritual that Katie was subjected to.
At one point, they like want to turn it off, but then they like convince themselves to watch. It's almost like,
The dad who actually like, is this meant to be his character arc where he goes, I don't need to know, I don't need to know. But at this point, the mum says, yeah, you do.
yeah, you
You
do.
gotta
We need
watch
to
this.
know. Yeah.
Just in case there's any magic words in here that someone needs to have feasibly remembered.
Oh
I
God.
did feel that scene went on for almost a laughably long amount of time. Like that videotape, the amount of
Mm.
times it cut like to what's going on in the house and then cut back to them and they're still locked into their shocked expression
Yeah.
and the videotape's still going on. And then it cuts back and then it cuts back. I feel like it went on for so long, it almost kind of broke the tension of
Yeah.
what that scene was supposed to
Yeah.
create.
And how do we feel about these kind of masks? They were almost like folk horror masks.
Like
What
wood.
were they?
Yeah.
Like wooden masks. That was a bit weird. I
Yeah.
didn't know that was a bit unexpected, I guess.
Did almost put my hand up in the cinema. Said, yeah, I know they need to see the whole thing, but I didn't need to. Just
Yeah.
give me the synopsis.
I
Because
guess
we
it
even got
was
the cold open that the mum did. The mum was like, hey, I'm recording this video so you'll know how to do this.
yeah, yeah, she translated it. That was nice of her. Um I guess it was kind of harrowing seeing poor girl like go through
Get the mummied.
what she goes through. Yeah, it's kind of harrowing, like seeing that I got that was kind of effective, but you know, then we see so she gets what she
Mummified.
like lowered down over the other body, and it just like
Yeah.
goes into her like
Yeah, when they do the magic spell, it like voms a big sort of venom into her,
yeah,
and then they mummify her with the protective wrappings. But meanwhile, upstairs, the Katie, the mummy Katie,
yeah.
because she's Bluetoothed into her brother now, who's mad and is banging his head against the wall, says, "Hey, do you want to come and get me undressed?" And I was like, weird way to put it, but
Yeah, I did think that as well. I was like, yeah,
yeah, weird
odd.
way to put it. But then he basically comes and like helps her get out of more bandages, meaning she is at maximum mummy power.
Mm. But again, like, did her final form look that much different to how she looked before? I don't know if it did. I thought her ripping all that stuff off, she would have been like some sort of, I don't know, yeah, like a sort of s- like skinned, horrible beast.
Yeah,
But she just had some black oil coming out of her eyes a bit as well. Was that
yeah.
happening?
She had sort of oily eyes, didn't she?
That's a bloody
I guess,
oil.
I guess because and we're spoiling this film in full, because there has to be a way back for her just to be a normal
Mm.
person at the end. That
Yeah, I did keep thinking that. I thought, is she gonna be? I don't know.
I think the moral of the film should have been sometimes your daughter will just can't turn into a mummy. You've got to kill her.
You gotta kill her, yeah.
Yeah.
So she
Yeah.
attacks her parents and Dahlia. She sends Dahlia like flying down the stairs. That is when the grandmother like tries to. What does she do?
Well, first she
Seduced
comes down and seduces
Jack
the
Reynor.
dad.
What was that?
Where she jumps up on the table. That's where she says her little line,
Oh
whatever
yeah,
line
yeah,
that
yeah.
was.
She says something about the that's a bit unnecessary. Innit?
Yeah,
Did you put a
have a
scorpion in the
cop a
police
taste of
officer's
this. Yeah.
scorpion in the police officer's mouth as well? Um, and then the mummy is like beating Charlie, beating the absolute living shit out of him, absolutely wailing on his face. Chases him around that banister thing for ages. It was I was like she went around about 10 corners. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, she's chasing her around. And then we have on the other side, the mum has gathered the anti-mummy injections
Mm.
that will like sedate her, but then
Or just
Mad Emo son decides
Mad Emo Son sounds like a relation of Imhotep.
Mad Emo son.
Oh yeah, the scorpion comes out of her neck. So this finally, this made sense because did anyone see at the premiere like the
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
actress had like yeah, she had like the mark on her neck, and I was like, what's going on there? Has she just had surgery? Like, what's going on? But she'd obviously had that done because that happens in the film. Interesting choice, but you know, I respect it.
Yeah.
Um, so
The bit
yeah,
where the son is chasing the mum around with the baseball bat.
yeah,
Bearing
that's
in mind, I have blamed him for this entire film. I'd have been like, finally, opportunity. You're gonna catch these hands, kid. And much like my mum being possessed in the end of Undertone last week, there is no world that kid, aluminium baseball bat or not, would have had a chat and have been like, yeah, I'd much rather fight you than the mummy. Done. I'd be like, you've really gone to town on him. Yeah, he was possessed.
Oh yeah, it's a bit harsh though, mate. He's
But
dead.
you punched him to custard. Well, pretty sure he was the mummy.
um, I guess what happens is Charlie manages to like yeah, sorry, go on.
No,
What
I was gonna
happens?
say, yeah, like the detective's like trying to speak, but then like she put her finger through the wound in her
Oh
neck
yeah, that
to
was a
her
bit
voice box to like be able to
yeah.
like speak and say the
Just got to
last
block
like
the air.
words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Puts her fingers into her vagina neck and manages to manages to like
Say
remember
the magic words.
remembers the scripture as well. I feel like there's too much happening in that video for me to remember any of the magic words. Or maybe she's watched it a few times. I don't know.
I guess also, but she's from Egypt. We don't know.
Oh, it could have been anything, couldn't it? Yeah, it could
We
have
don't
been.
know. Like if it had been in a language that we spoke, it could have just been like, "Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, cow jumped over the moon." Like something you just know.
You're a bloody mummy, you are. Stop being a
It-
mummy.
yeah, I mean,
Stop being.
it could have just been in in Egyptian, it could have just been described. Dear the mummy, go into this new body. 3, 2, 1, now. It could have been that.
As easy as
So
that.
she's able to say that, and Charlie, the dad, he's decided to make a sacrifice where he
Oh, I
goes, "Yeah,
tell you
I'll
what,
be possessed by the mummy."
we must have all thought the same thing in this moment, didn't we?
What's
This
that?
is just the end of The Exorcist. If he turns around and jumps out of a window,
Chucks himself down the stairs,
chucks
eaten
himself
by
down that
coyotes.
massive step, I would have been like, "That's it.
Walk
I'm
out.
yeah,
Just
yeah." I
walk
would have
out of that
walked out.
moment.
I would have waited
What it
till.
reminds me of now that I think about it is the last Conjuring film. Feels very much like the end of that, where everyone's like yelling and
Oh
everyone's on the floor
yeah.
and heightened, and someone's trying to possess something and
That mirror's
pull it
spinning
out of that.
around.
Oh, that
Yeah.
bloody mirror. Jesus.
It's got evil versions of your family in it. The bloody Niwas.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, it goes into him
It goes
and
into him, and then they chain him up and lock him in the basement.
chain him up and lock him in the basement and keep communicating to him via Morse code. And
And
again,
Katie's
like
fine now.
Katie slowly getting fine, bonding with her siblings as well. I kind
All
of
the
thought
kids
maybe
are
that was
fine
going to be
again.
it.
Look at them. Lovely, happy family. Not a screen in sight. Just enjoying the moment.
I thought that was maybe going to be it. I thought, like, because films like this, how often do they just hint at potentially a sequel? They do, don't they? And I
Yeah.
feel like this just decided to go a bit further than that.
I would have liked it just to show, oh, the detective also didn't die after doing the magic words. She's fine and she's got a new lease of life finding missing people now.
Yeah, she's got her the hole in her neck has been sewn up. She's fine. But yeah, we get this final scene where Dahlia, who was the mum, the witch, what are we calling her a witch? I guess she was doing some sort of magic. When she shot her, she didn't die. She's
Yeah.
alive, and she's in some sort of
Chained to a
some
bed in
sort of
prison.
facility. Yeah,
Yeah.
chained to a bed in prison. And they go, we need to talk about Charlie. Remember, you recognize my face? Like, I don't know. I guess it's kind of satisfying, but I don't know.
I don't think it feels natural to what that mother was like throughout the whole film that she'd suddenly
Yeah,
be like
that's a
that.
good point. Yeah, that's a good
She's
point.
really forgiven him. She's really forgiven her terrible husband for he did get possessed by the mummy. In many ways, he's been far more attentive since he's been chained in a box. How did they get him on an international flight?
That's the only question you've got about this film.
It's a valid question, Ben. You're gonna have to have changed at Heathrow.
Is it that same massive, heavy wheelchair though that they're gonna
Probably
just
an
like?
even heavier one because now it's gonna fit a fully grown man.
And
And he
also, I've
looks.
noticed that he's like, it's for Jack Reynor, it's like the same as Midsummer again, where he's like, his agency is gone. He has now become
Yeah,
something. His fate is sealed, and he's like, he doesn't talk. In the
yeah.
end, he's kind of very
It
similar in
didn't
that
look
way.
great. He didn't look great. I feel like they could have gone somewhere with some nice practical makeup, maybe. It looked like, when there's like, oh, there's a mummy film coming out, and you see like a fan made poster of what
Yeah.
of like an actor as the mummy. He kind of looked a bit like that.
And it also looked like one of those things where, when you get those films where it's like, oh, it's called The Mummy. This girl throughout the whole film doesn't really look like the mummy. And then it's like, bam, here's the mummy at the end. He's the mummy. Like, and then
Yeah,
now he's gonna have the look that you're expecting
yeah.
the whole time.
Oh,
The
yeah.
mummy and the demon, sort of Nazarene, like he seems quite into it. I'm guessing they probably Morse coded to him. Now look, you don't want to be stuck in New Mexico. We don't want you to be stuck in our dad. How about that
We'll make a
woman who's
deal.
had you locked up for ages? If you can behave yourself for the course of this flight, put a movie on. Bet June will be on. You could watch two of them. You'd have a great time if you
Oh
like
yeah.
June.
Watch the mummy. Watch the Mummy Returns.
Worried about the scorpion. I'm going to tell the scorpion. Not him. I've heard about him. It's like threatening kids with Santa Claus. If you don't behave, I'm going to tell the Scorpion
uh,
King that you've been misbehaving. So yeah, he behaves on the flight. Maybe he's into it. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go and get that woman that's imprisoned me for generations.
mm. And
And
we
then
don't.
they
It doesn't. It all happens like. Oh, she closes the door, Dahlia, doesn't she?
and you hear
Starts to
them do the
chant her.
magic spell,
Mm.
and
She's
we can only
she's
assume that
screaming.
everyone working at the prison was on a break.
Yeah, that was handy, wasn't it? And there we go. That's the end. I guess it's good because we don't really get any like silly sequel hints or anything like that. Which I kind of appreciated. Yeah, there we go. God, sorry.
After they possessed her with the mummy, are they just going to leave her there in
I
the
guess
prison?
so, yeah. Don't really. Well, I don't know. I guess I feel like she'd be even worse now she's possessed by a mummy. She was kind of a bit evil anyway, right?
Well, she's got no family to
Oh yeah,
drag apart, I guess. So the demon would just be bored.
yeah, it's true.
Maybe he'll behave in anticipation of June 3 coming up and not wanting to be imprisoned again before.
I have to wait a while for it to come out. I'll tell you what. Watching June on I feel like that will offend Terrelle because I feel like he loves you definitely are going to watch that in IMAX.
Yeah, definitely.
Watching it on an airplane.
Yeah.
That's how I've seen both June movies.
That's how the director intended it.
That's how I've watched both. Sat there, I'm a little.
Well, I suppose if you lean right in, you could always get the same thing.
Mimic the IMAX experience from just a couple meters out.
Cup your ears like that so you get the sound. Okay, so that was Lee Cronin's The Mummy. I guess we've got to rate it. I feel like it's one of those where the more you talk about it, the more it kind of falls apart. But if you're going to rate the film from A to F, pluses and minuses allowed, of course, how would you rate Lee Cronin's The Mummy, Terrell? Just thinking about it.
A D. Either a D. Yeah, I guess I'll D. Yeah.
Yeah, a D. That sounds about right, doesn't it, Andy?
You know what? I've gone the other way, I think, Ben. Talking about it, it is very silly. It falls apart.
A
It is
plus.
ludicrous, right? But I do want to give it a little bit of credit for getting a genuine reaction at me because some of the stuff was gross. I narratively, I wish they just leaned into the fact that it was stupid and it could have been a bit funny and just said she's a bloody mummy from the beginning. Have that as like an accepted thing. You know what? Your mother-in-law is religious. Like, say it's like a curse. Like, say my daughter's cursed and we don't know how to deal with it. So narratively, it was messy, but I do want to give credit for lots of the gross things they put into this film, and there are some visual things that I'm glad that I've seen. It's no Tale of the Mummy / Tell Us the Mummy from 1998. Definitely go and watch that for your proper Egypt mummy hit. But I'm still going to give this a C minus. C minus.
Okay.
We're getting out of the D territory for the physical things that I saw happen.
See, I feel like there up to a certain point I was enjoying it and some of the ideas it had, but I feel like the more and more it kind of lent into The Exorcist and Evil Dead and everything like that, the more I was losing it. I love like ancient Egypt and stuff like that. I feel like we don't get enough of it in movies, especially horror movies. It would have been good to get like an interesting, unique, original idea. The fact that it was just some demon was a little bit disappointing, and the fact that this demon was just doing Deadite stuff and Pazuzu stuff and not really get your own ideas for God's sake, whatever your name is. What's his name? Neil. What's the demon's name?
Nazarene.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Neil.
Neil, bloody Neil. I just feel like it just feels like a bit of a missed opportunity, doesn't it? And yeah, the tone was kind of all over the place. I'll go for a D plus because I feel like, yeah, what you mentioned about the gross out stuff, like there were at least 4 or 5 moments which genuinely made me like recoil, which is always appreciated. But I just think the story and everything else just didn't quite hit home for me.
Yeah, set it in Egypt, leave it in Egypt, have the drama of the investigation going on. Give me some of the Egypt plagues. Let her like summon a cloud of locusts into the house or something like that. Madness.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. Okay. That was Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Big old deep dive. Did we do almost 3 hours on this like we did on Evil Dead Rise?
I think we did. Yeah.
We had loads of news though.
I think we're getting there. We did have loads of news. We did. But it's always a good time. So thank you so much for joining us, Terrell.
Thanks,
Pleasure. I guess the next time Lee Cronin gets a movie out, we'll have to get you back on the show. What's he got up next? Do we know? Is he doing an
I don't think he
No.
said anything.
I was kind of surprised that he wasn't doing at least one of the new Evil Deads, I guess. You sometimes think like
Yeah,
when
because especially because I think his one was the highest grossing one as well. So yeah, you'd think they'd be like, oh, do another one, make us more money.
yeah, maybe just do
But
one more. Yeah, because obviously Sam Raimi did three, so do at least two. But there we go. Where can our listeners keep up to speed with you, Terrelle? I guess Horrormania podcast as well.
yeah, so Horrormania podcast, which is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other DSP platforms. On X, you can find me at Terrell Graham. And yeah, that's basically. I know what on Instagram as well, Horrormania Hub, for the Instagram page and TikTok.
Sweet. Look out for those
Lovely.
out of theater reviews as well if you want an immediate reaction to anything from because you're always there.
Yeah,
50 IMAX
yeah.
movies. Yeah. But thanks for joining us. Thanks to all of our patrons on patreon.com/horror hangout. Thanks to Taj Easton for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Go and give us a rating or review. That would be nice. We're on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. horrorhangout.co.uk for everything in one place. Next week, we're talking about, again, another surprising film that we haven't covered before on the show, Andy. The Autopsy of Jane Doe with special guests Shannon Fletcher.
Awesome. And in the meantime, everybody, if you do find it, well, good night. God bless. See you all again soon. Or, as I
Don't
would
bloody
say
say
that
a
if I
prayer
was
to
the
me. I'll
mummy.
Oh no. I'm gonna have to add it back in. Yeah. I was about to say, don't you dare say a prayer to me because I'll headbutt you.
Headbutt you so fucking hard. Right. As long as you don't say amen, Ben, that's not the same time.
Right. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.